Yeah, well, I would suggest that it doesn't, it's not there very long. Over the rest of the week. Yeah, I'm going to go under. I don't know if it's going to remain.
I don't know,
there.
Katina, man. Like, it's there. Well, Fabian is following instructions.
Yeah, he's just... Sometimes you got to fight back.
Katina Man just dunked on Fabian. Oh, my days.
Not right. Well, Fabian.
Katina Man's locked and loaded. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Neil's locked and loaded. He's going to stand under the camera. Get it, Neil. He's already.
He's already going to go. We're all ready. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's that time, man. These guys are ready to rock and roll. I hope everyone had a fantastic day. I'm a little peckish, so we're going to send you guys off. We're going to eat some lunch.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the afternoon show. Look, it's been quite the interesting day so far, that's for sure, as we trade a little bit of SpaceX, as we trade a little bit of Intel as well. But, we're just going to get into a lesson right here. And these lessons are very, very important. Make sure that you keep on tuning back in, get Sharif's morning note, get signed up, get subscribed, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us absolutely everywhere where there's a streaming service. And don't forget about TikTok as well. But right here, we're going to show you right now the one volume breakout that you need to focus on. This is one indicator that's not going to get you trapped. Every single breakout last month would have been successful if you would have followed this one indicator. Neil's over there at the big screen, and he's going to break it down. Pay attention. This is going to save you a lot of money on those fake breakouts.
That's right. If you don't want to get involved in breakouts that hit the ceiling and come right back down and burn you, there's only one signal you need to confirm that real move, and you're not going to take any more of these blindly because you're going to be looking at the relative volume. You're going to get a couple of seconds, 2-second check, just to confirm you've got institutional presence before doing your buys. A great portion of breakouts are going to happen without that significant volume that'll give you the follow through. A lot of that's going to be the institutional footprint, everybody. That's going to be instantly through relative volume spikes. Raw volume versus relative volume. What are we talking about here? A stock can be doing 500,000 shares, 1 million shares, whatever it might be at 10 a.m. But what difference does it make if that is less than it usually does over a 90-day period or the last few weeks or even the prior day? A second stock can be trading 10,000, 15,000 shares, but it's doing 3.5 times volume. So there's a little bit of extra juice, and this is what you are looking for in a trade. You do not want to be in that ignore zone. Underneath 1x regular volume, that means there is less than normal volume. No breakout, get it out of here. You want more retail action. That's where you get some more eyeballs on it. It's doing 1 to 1.5. So you've got a little bit more going on, but the real confirmation comes when you get heavier action over 2 times the relative volume is going to give you that institutional accumulation that sets up some examples of what is good and what is bad. Now, the first thing you're going to want to notice on a successful breakout, Coinbase with the big, massive break, is easy peasy. You don't even have to do too many calculations. If you simply just look at outside of the open and the close, it never does more than 100,000 on any of the opening candles. You're already getting, on the first two, you're getting 3.5 times. You're above 300,000 in volume, and then that continuation falls through. And it's the continuation that we're really talking about. Because a technical breakout that happens off of the open is blowing through levels. It's that dip buy and the continuation upside. Can you buy that first dip? What is going to happen to the money that is chasing the move early? If there is extra volume indicating more interest, that institutional plus retail, then you are much more likely to get that second continuation. And as you can see, when the dips come in and people are already trapped at the top there and we're pulling back $4 or $5 on Coinbase, it's the extra volume that's able to give you that second leg so nobody's bag holding that top. That's what you want to look for. On the flip side, what happens when you don't have that kind of volume? Stock you dumped before on GEV. It was a false breakout the day before on light volume. You're seeing it gapped up and trying to go at the open. And again, barely even 1 to 1 RVol. In fact, slightly lower. There's no spike at all in extra volume. So what do you think happens when it makes that early high and starts pulling back? There's no extra liquidity. The retail interest, the institutional interest that's there for that dip buy to give you that second leg. What happens? It jumps up, it hits the ceiling, and there's no floor underneath. It's all about that extra volume. You want to be sure that when you are picking out the stocks, the breakouts happen fast at the open. You get a couple of minutes, you break out at the open. Sometimes there's only one chance at a dip buy. All you have to do is glance at that relative volume in real time. If it's too low, you know that's the one you're not buying the dip on. You look for continuation when you've got that extra R-vol. 3, 3.5 ideal, but it can be 2, 2.5. You just want to make sure there's extra eyes on it that morning, so when the dip buying comes in, you're not caught holding the bag.
Let me restart this. I was writing something in the chat there. Guys, if you have made R-vol trades, drop them in the note below. Make sure you make some notes. Let us know what stocks you look at. Let us know your most recent R-vol trade. Put the post below and let me and Neil help you out with your R-vol and your volume traps. Don't get faked out on those breakouts. Make sure you pay attention. Rewind if you have to. Put comments below. Let us know what your stock is and if you've used similar methods to those of Neil. Thank you very much to everybody. And I was just typing in the chat there. I was answering. And I was like, all of a sudden, it ended up right there. But yeah, good little look there. And you mentioned earlier today about Nebius was one of those looks as well that didn't really have the follow through early. And if you look at this stock right here, not much going on in the pre-market. Therefore, it took about a half hour before we eventually broke out on NBIS. So there we go. Now to the upside there on Nebius, now up 16% with not much volume. Finally got a chance to go. You wait for that last breakout. But yeah, that would have saved you on that fake right there. So we did have a breakout. I wanted to show it to you because it was a real-time action today. There's that breakout. But see, without the real volume happening earlier, you just get a push right back in. And it takes about 20, 30 minutes there before eventually we extend out and, use that 200 period moving average for a breakout trade. Yeah, guys, like we're back. And it's the only new trade. I mean, I still have this NVIDIA trade from the open. Or from, I guess, 10.15 there. We did get a really great printout at 207. That was basically the high there of that most recent move. Now we're starting to pull back in, thinking about taking a little bit more out. I think that's actually pretty smart to do. And then it looks like SpaceX right here. I mean, it's a funny one because when we got back up, this is just as we left you guys at 11 o'clock, we were short into that 129, basically 128.50. Once it broke, we went long, was able to take some outs there to the upside, got stopped out when it came back into flat again. And since then, we've just been trying to hold on to the short. The best fill that we have on this. And again, we're short right now at 128.85. My stop was going to be 130, and we're trying to get some more at 129.50, but that never happened. So now there's a little bit of a downside push coming in right here. 127.50 was roughly our best out. I mean, I think it's 127.70 or so there for the move down. So yeah, good move there on SpaceX to the short side off of $130. I mean, up 7%, still a work there for SpaceX. I mean, congratulations to anybody that's been riding that train. I'm going to get another piece out here on NVIDIA. There it is. There it is at 40s. Just because, again, we're trying to push a little lower. Can't get out to 50 period moving average. Look, the NASDAQ, what a day. Up another 2%. We should have Brian Shannon joining us at some point here today, so that should be nice, around 230, 245. So there's that to talk about. There's some names that have been halting back and forth, and I know Shreef's been looking at this one, CPHI, a little bit and going crazy over there. I've never heard the word case said so many times in my life, so shout out to Casey there as well. And yeah, she just kept on saying Case. He's talking about Casey in the chat there. So this was, I guess, one that she's looking at right there. Nice move higher there into $17, $18, and then now the pull back in. So maybe the best of CPHI is over with for right now. But yeah, good trading there. I just was looking at Shreef was trading this one today as well. So good moves there. Looks like you're going to halt down right now, Case. 875 right there. Will it? And I would say it is going to. So watch out now. The last couple of halts down have created waterfalls. So we'll wait to see where this one's going to halt at. And look, if you paid for shorts, what you want to do, and there was a question there from Ozan about dark pools, and it's like all of these Ds that are printing right here are all trades that went off at 875 all in the dark. So they're not coming off of any of these lit markets that you see. So I think that's important too, to understand how dark pools operate. And that is, there's going to be a lot of volume available. Like all these, like look at all these Ds here. I know a lot of them are 1 share, 19 shares, whatever, right? But 188.50, like the majority of all of the trading that's done here are all going to be Ds. So that's just something to watch out for with dark pools. You may not have access to them, but every single time you're using Robinhood or IBKR or anything like that, they're routing all of your orders through. Yeah. So yeah, you just got to be careful with all that. The dark pools do exist, and there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they got to trade through them to get the price up or down. So it's just not showing. And I don't know. Sometimes they get bad raps, but it's just not showing their main intent. So someone here on ARCA could also be bidding like 50,000 shares, but only showing 1. So those are called iceberg orders. So there's differences between those two things, but at the end of it all, it is good to understand market structure. So,
you know what else is good to understand?
OGen, I think.
You better believe it, because we've got updates out of OGen. That's Orogenics, ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. They've now activated their phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment that's targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury. That's an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. And alongside that, Orogenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway for additional CNS assets under evaluation. That's ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. You can tell a storm's coming, man, because head's pumping off here. There was another halter.
Yours is?
Yeah, you're not getting the
Normally I'm the one that's a problem.
There's a thunderstorm coming. I started feeling it.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like a thunderstorm warning for like now till the commute home. It was SLGB also just halted. Small capper that spent basically all day just faltering, but back above $1. It halted up and now trying to hold on to the volume weighted average price. So another one moving here. Thank you, Nick Dubs, for the super chat. Isn't Sober a similar setup to yesterday's small cap you took at the end of the day? SOBR. Do they have a catalyst today on Sober? I don't recall hearing about this one today.
What was the small cap yesterday? That's why, if you can remember it, Nick W, we can look and compare them.
Sober. Ugh.
Maybe it's because it looks like it's breaking out.
Yeah, I think it's the made the bottom. Made a little bit of a bottom, trying to break out off the top here. Again, volume not very good on Sober. It's only been 2 million shares for a 70-cent stock. That's one of the thing to keep in mind for penny stocks. Like, if you're not doing tens of millions of shares, if not hundreds of millions of shares, then you're kind of on the low end. Look at this as a penny stock. What's the one that's moving today? It doesn't really matter. You guys can see there's not a lot of liquidity. Each of these is 100 shares. Like, most of the price levels, you go down, you're not getting a heck of a lot, even within the same penny. Like, nobody's really sticking more than a couple of hundred shares in there until you get down.
Oh, we had the one you're thinking about is Kids.
That was this morning.
Yeah, that's the penny name.
Yeah, but that was...
I mean, it's below $1. I don't know if it's still $1 now.
Well, that's on 250 million shares.
Wow, that was $1. I wrote that down on the list as to protecting the dollar.
Oh, it did hold 50.
Not protect anything.
But that was the key price.
If anything, that's inspect a deck, man. Protect your neck right there.
Look at that right there at $1, and then right here at 50 cents. These stocks seem to like these obvious levels, some of these penny stocks, but way better volume, 120 times the volume, and it's a similarly priced stock. That's the deal with penny stocks. You need the ones with a little bit more volume in them. The only thing I'm in is BMNR.
Oh, BIYA was yesterday's stock.
Oh, BIA.
Yeah, Nick just mentioned it there in the chat.
Oh, I think I
Nick.
see what you might be getting at. BIA was a bit different, Nick, because BIA was down off of a down halt. Like, it halted down multiple times at the low. So it was a capitulation bottom. It halted twice early, then it halted twice at the bottom, opened up, did not retake the high, and then kind of broke that out. I think the difference really was that, like, the upside on this, because it halted up, if it had continued, you're able to get 4 to 450, but the upside, if that had continued, was tremendous. Whereas I think Sober didn't have that kind of SOBR doesn't have that kind of capitulation yesterday. And it's in an upward trend, if anything else. I think that would be the difference between the two. Like, that was a capitulation bottom, for sure. Something else. Oh, another super chat here.
Yeah.
PW, looking to career change, love this channel. Well, good luck.
No pressure to us there or anything like that.
Well, I mean, it's a big decision.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Do not. I'll tell you. Do not switch your career
Here's
at
what
all.
I think. Having a career gives you the best chance of making trading work, because what you'll have is a stable income that allows you to ride the ups and downs. That is easily the most challenging part. It's the learning curve. It's understanding that the cyclical nature means the Pareto rule, 80%, 80-20, 80% of your money can get made in 20% of the time. That's not easy when you've got bills to pay. So having that stable income is a huge advantage. If you're just sort of talking about, hey, maybe has nothing to do with trading and you're just changing jobs, well, good luck. I mean, that's I actually had a buddy of mine saying he's looking like he's changing careers and knows I have a friend and like this business is doing some like networking in there. That's one of the best things about having a wide, diverse group. Like, he knows I know a guy in a certain industry, so he reached out to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll connect you too, of course. Why not? So again, if it's about trading, I think it's a huge advantage to have a stable income. It gives you that help. Sorry, we missed that last super chat about kids. Okay, we'll go to Michael's first. Michael Peter Ryder, not Mike. AI can't take your job if you're unemployed. Truth.
That is wrong so about that.
And now the Pepe billionaire. There's at least one out there. Oh, Canada. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, CAD.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, hey, we can almost go buy this another coffee over here. This was about $2.
I looked over and I don't know why I thought it was roll up the rim. When are they going to do that again? Yeah, it is catching a bit of a bid on the. Well, I have a 3-minute up, but I mean, it's going to be catching a bit on a 1 minute too. 1 minute, 3 minute doesn't matter. Right off the 50 cent level. That's better than what it was doing off of the 70 to 75 for sure. So watch out for. In here, 67 to 70 cents, where the accumulation was. That's where it's going to need to get through. This one and Vivek, they really just died off the open. You know, both of these names, they just couldn't get going, and this is sort of the thing. Sometimes another one kind of picks up the juice, and the shorts definitely won out with those two. No question about it. All right, we got to figure out what we're looking at this afternoon. The halt scanners, it's just that CPHI is it really just up halt? Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, it got reopened.
Weren't you just talking? Didn't you just say this down halt? Yes, it did. It did down halt.
Yeah.
Well, now it's halted to the upside. This is halted more times today than probably all of the combined small cappers did yesterday. Just this one stock. So it's still up 1,000% despite giving half of it back. But the up halt probably 5 or 10 minutes. We don't get like good tap information because it's an Amex stock, so it's indicating flat. This is definitely a don't trade. I got an unavailable if you wanted to. I wanted to see what the locates were because I expected them to be expensive, but I guess they're adjusting the price after it halted to the downside.
I'm trying to bid right now, 127.15. It just literally bounced off me, which means it'll probably come back in and do that as algos find the bid, and no better time. I mean, that was a perfect example right there. Go check this book out right now if you are considering coming into the trading world. This is by Real Trading founder Daniel Schleffer, one of our good friends around here, and a guy that we opened up our offices with initially, and I actually hired to bring into this business. Wrote a book right here about algorithms, about real trading, and about what it means to be a trader and sitting in front of your desk and making sure that, you know, the opportunities are there, creating and finding the real world opportunities in day trading. So it's only at 99 cents right now on Amazon. It was the #1 book on the financial charts there for June and I believe early July. So go get this right now, Real Trading. We are sitting on the Real Trading floor right now. This is Daniel Schleffer's book. So go check it out, man. 99 cents on Amazon. No better a way to start your journey if you are considering entering the world of trading. And you may be nervous about algorithm. I'll put it up here so you guys can see it. Might be nervous about algorithm and algorithmic trading and dark pools and all that fun stuff right there. But go grab that book and you will immediately be able to see like-minded, as Neil said, like-minded traders and ideas that you can utilize in your day-to-day trading life. We are very, very close to getting this SpaceX down there at 127.15, but I believe it's time to go to Adara, who's over there at our wall with some interesting slides. And I have no idea what it is, so I'm going to be paying attention. Let's go over, see what Adara's up to.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's time for today's segment of To the Window, To the Wall, where I pick up an infographic window. We put it here on this wall. Now, I know I do a lot of, weird self-indulgent segments on this wall that are related to the market, but more in a tangential way. But this is going to actually, I hope, really help you guys tackle the AMD Advancing AI event, which kicks off tomorrow with a keynote speech from CEO of AMD, Dr. Lisa Su, at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, you guys know, if you've watched the show, I'll be covering that event for you guys live, so don't miss it, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. That being said, she's not going to be the only speaker at Advancing AI. That'd be really weird if you just had the CEO talk the whole time. You have so many, maybe too many AMD executives and interns, et cetera, who are going to be speaking at this event, but you also have a lot of representatives from public companies. So here's a list here, as far as I know, because I was looking through their calendar, a complete list in no particular order of all of the companies that are going to be having speakers at this two-day Advancing AI event for AMD, which takes place from Wednesday to Thursday. You've got 4 Mag 7s here. So you've got Amazon, specifically AWS, Google, specifically Google Cloud, Microsoft, specifically Microsoft Azure, and then Meta. So more than half the Mag 7, and the only Mag 7s that aren't on here are either direct competition to AMD, NVIDIA, or they're like Tesla and Apple, names that we don't really know for their massive chip investments. Other names on watch here, though, you've got Broadcom, Dell, IBM, Cisco, Supermicro. So that could be on watch here. You've got Rivian, so that worthwhile name to watch. They're going to be reporting next week after the bell on Thursday. You've got Arista Networks. You've got Oracle, a good friend of mine. You have Synopsys there as well. And you even have some small caps, guys, because I'm not going to leave the small caps alone. RXT, this is one that we know has rallied in the past. They're going to be there. You've got Nutanix. They're going to be present as well. You also have AT&T. They're not a small cap, but they're reporting tomorrow morning. So lots to keep an eye on here. And guys, this isn't going to be your only AMD Advancing AI infographic, because you know me, I have way too much time on my hands and I want to make more content for you guys. So tomorrow, right before the keynote, you're going to be seeing the first of 2 scheduled infographics. That's just going to cover the first day of the Advancing AI event. The non-keynote speeches start at 4 p.m. Eastern because they're in Pacific time, so 3-hour time difference. And then on Thursday, I'm not even going to be in the office, but you're still going to get part 2 of this Advancing AI schedule infographic, which gives you a sense of who's speaking when, so you know what stocks to watch when. With that all being said, this is today's segment of To the Window, To the Wall. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please always feel free to drop any recommendations for stuff that you want me to cover on this wall in that chat as we send you back over to Neil and Sean.
Thank you as always, Adara. She's got the vert to get that camera. Because that's what it looks like. If you stand next to it, you know the vertical.
It's for chin-ups.
You know the vertical tester?
Yes, and then you jump up huge. And
it's like, because it has like
55-inch.
Yeah, wrong. Some dude broke the.
I saw that. I think it was
broke the world record.
Yeah,
something like that. Although I'd swear there was a former Globetrotter who did better than that.
Maybe it wasn't like official or something.
That's what I don't understand. Michael Williams, he used to go to Memphis. It was a Globetrotter. I'm pretty sure that guy had a 58-inch vertical that was confirmed. I thought he held a world record for the highest dunk of all time. IBM's on that list. IBM is still looking bad going into, well, before their report. We'll see if they're able to hold up. But another day, another lower high. For every single day that it looks like it's good, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high again. At some point, this thing needs to get out of its own way. It is just absolutely, it's looking nasty. But supposedly they gave us the worst with their, let's say, devastating letter or honest letter about their preliminary guidance and sort of where the CapEx spending is going and not to them and going to memory and cybersecurity as well. So, with any luck, that was the worst news, because if they still disappoint, and even worse than expected, this could be $180 if you go out to the daily chart on this bad boy. Like, it's at a pretty. This is a big level. It's a precarious situation here for them, because it's held this level for a very, very long time since this breakout. You lose that, and you really are talking about like the 180s back from 2024. Where you were bouncing on that May bottom. So yeah, IBM's got a lot at stake here. I'm a little bit scared for them. And anyone that's been a buyer up here, this has been one of those like great holds for like a long time, but I mean the dividend's not saving you if we lose $200. That's for sure.
No, yeah. I don't know if you want to trade for dividends for that one, but it's nice to have
Well,
in your back pocket. So just for those of you following around at the home game right there, we're still $2 in on both of these names. So SpaceX, we did flip it into the long there once we broke, up 6%, and now it's coming back in. So, we've been real good with our outs, I feel like. That's 127.50 a couple times. That's 127. Now we're waiting for 126.50. So hopefully we can get that one. We bounced off a little bit there, 126.80. Looking for more downside right now in SpaceX. So I'm always in this name every single day. It's very, very cheap to borrow here at Real Trading. So that's what we're doing there. And I got out of a little bit more of NVIDIA here as well because it did. And so I'm going to, just as a reminder, you're going to break VWAP. I'm going to get a little piece out. You're going to bounce back up to the 25 period. I'm going to get a little piece out. If you guess that we might have some outs in around these areas, you're going to be right again. 207 and change is our best fill. So we're going to wait to see if we can get another one there. But yeah, SpaceX losing the bid. Did we just get that bid there at 60s? Yes, we did. So there's that 50 fill. We actually had 126.60 there. So there's the fill right there. It looks like, or was it 57s? No, 60s. Yeah. So good fill there as we just went down to the downside. And we're just taking it. Like instead of scalping out, like when we're in trouble, we panic and we get out, right? Like this was not breaking 130. So we had to have as many outs as we could and then held on for the break. This is starting to lose itself right now. So it's kind of like Eminem. It's lose yourself, whatever. We can keep going on that, but we won't. In the music, the moment, But we're going to wait to see if we hold VWAP there, 126 and change. So I'm actually going to move, whatever. I'm bidding 126. Let's just keep it there. I don't know if VWAP's going to matter, but that's another level that we're looking at there for SpaceX. Let's go over and see who made yesterday. So remember we had that Turkish. I'm going to see if this is actually updated. So again, if you're here with us at Real Trading, this is a intranet. So you can't just grab this anywhere. It gives you the top traders, top names today on the TMX here in Canada. Gives you some Russell imbalance information. And sometimes, Neil and I will talk about, why is Goro or why is XYZ on the imbalance locator. We'll check out this. And, hopefully your prop firm does things like that for you. Real Trading does. Make sure you go get it, realtrading.com. The same floor that Neil and I are on. Okay, so it looks like it. Okay, so this is updated because yesterday, although somebody's figured something out in the Turkish exchange, which is real nice right there. But, Amex, so these are the top 10 traders from yesterday's account here at Real Trading, right? These are all US dollars. This market is the market they're trading in, not the dollars that you're seeing. So this would be, even though this trader only traded one market, if you do see multiple markets on here, it means that trader has picked on multiple markets. Like today I've traded only NASDAQ names. So, this may be me tomorrow, right? But so that's how it works. So this trader only traded Amex yesterday. Could be USO, could be SLV. I mean, could be anything on Amex, SOXL, whatever. And then this one trader there in Canada. Unfortunately, we don't have the symbols to give you, nor do I have the downside. This is only the upside. But yeah, somebody over there. And again, maybe there's a symbol in Turkey right now. I think the symbol is HAIR, I think, there in Turkey, and you can trade that one. NASDAQ, thank you for getting that, Adara. NASDAQ, New York, and so on and so forth. So there's these symbols that we don't have, but these are the markets. So that's now a few days. And so yesterday's was probably accurate. That's now a few days in a row that this was gobbled up here by the Turkish exchange. So
that's more of like a long stock. It's BALD that you want to go short on.
Yeah, you want to go long on that because they can repair it.
Oh, so you're looking for the reversal on that.
I almost want to go short on hair.
Mean reversion, yeah.
Yeah, because hair, people don't have any. That's why they're going there. It's easy to find the boros on those stocks. Anyways, I would, if and when I ever get it done, I would just get it done here, man. I wouldn't go over to Turkey. I would just pay the double or triple the price, honestly, and get it done here in case there was any problems.
I ain't doing nothing.
Anyway, shout out to that. There's so many people. Elon Musk, he goes on and on and on. Yeah. The guy, Steve Carell, he just goes on and on and on. And people that you may not realize have gotten it. So that's the thing. But no, I'm not going to plan on anytime soon getting it done. So,
CPHI reopened. And
anyways, yeah. So that opened up lower and now higher. Only
this
up
stock
1,000%.
is absurd. It's absurd. Halt down, halt up. Now back above $10. It's actually technically it was putting in lower highs, and then if it closed above 1250, it could reverse that trend. But just remember, it's halting every 10 or 15 minutes at the current rate. So just be a little bit careful with it. Oh, we're going back up to the desk with Adara.
Yeah, we're going to talk here about Goldman Sachs. So this isn't really market moving, but I think just something that's interesting here, and I think our viewers will be interested in. CNBC just reported that Goldman Sachs, obviously a major financial institution, just reported earnings last week. Apparently, they're creating a private markets platform through which certain clients can be allowed to invest in private companies. Again, CNBC out here reporting that Goldman Sachs is creating a new platform that will allow certain clients to invest in private companies. As I said earlier, not really market moving, but I think of interest in a story that is worth noting. Back to you.
I gotta have some more SpaceX there at 127. We are expecting Brian Shannon to come through. So if you have any questions, get ready to get locked and loaded for that. And as we see, and we just talked about some different stocks and different setups, and maybe some names heading into earnings, what he may or may not look at there. So look, there's the. We can't be too. So I only have right now a little bit under a third. Let's call it 25. Actually, I think it's about 25%, almost exactly, left right now on this. So SpaceX right here. I said that we were going to ignore VWAP, just meaning that hopefully it was going to continue to break right through that level, and then get back into the low side, as we know now that potentially Cathie Wood and some ETFs were in there maybe buying this morning and just kept on going higher, right? And eventually the buyers stopped there. It looked like anyways at 130. We tried to push it through 130, which are all these red marks there, but now you're coming right back down in. And just some of the watch list there. I was looking at this today. I'm actually going to, but maybe as we have Brian on and I get a little bit chance here, I think AMD, because we sold some at 500, we're going to sell some more here at 540. Now today, just to get a better average price of our latest sells. What a move for AMD, man, up another 7%. Just to get some more cash, get a little liquid in case something happens with Google tomorrow. I'd much rather be in AMD and Intel. I'd rather be in Intel and Google rather than AMD. So we'll raise some cash there. I mean, just in case there's a problem. I mean, tonight, we still have all tomorrow. So there is obviously a big move happening potentially tomorrow as well. There's Robinhood today. We've already looked at that a little bit just to talk about something other than some tech names. Robinhood up that 6%. And on the back of obviously better equity trading. I think the volumes in equity is starting to pick up. Robinhood today as well. We got that news from the Clarity Act. Plus we saw Bitcoin starting to go a little bit. So that's up 6%.
Sorry, just to add, I've heard more from the Clarity Act just from people who are close to the situation on X, and they're all saying it's not going anywhere. I guess one of the Democratic senators, Ruben Gallego of Arizona, I'm not going to quote it because it was really profane, but he basically says that, yeah, they can try on the Republican side, but they're not going to get anywhere with us unless they give us a different bill. So,
okay.
At 145, there was a big reversal or drop in coin, or not Coinbase, in Bitcoin.
The second time there's been two other Barons in my life. There's the Baron, I forget his name, he's in WWE, Baron something. And then there was Baron Trump, which makes me think about crypto. And then last night in Obsession, the main character's name is Baron, and that's my son's name. So now it's going to start to get real popular. What?
One of the most explosive point guards.
Oh, Baron Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been another good one there as well.
He's underrated.
Yeah, I think Baron Davis was a Golden State Warrior.
Yeah, he was.
Good hops back in the day for sure for a little small guy as well. But all right, so Intel's still up that 8%. AMD, Robinhood. Yeah, Obsession was pretty good. I think you guys should. I mean, there's some wild scenes, man. The one in the car there is pretty.
But it doesn't need the theater. Because I'm thinking more.
It doesn't need the theater, but. I mean, we went to the VIP. I would.
I'm more likely to see if I see Odyssey. I feel
Odyssey,
like that's what I'm saying. If I see Odyssey, I feel like
it's nice to be with more people. I don't know. I like the atmosphere in a theater. But yeah, you're right. It's
Christopher Nolan. I feel like you're seeing in the theater.
I don't think you want to miss. I mean, I haven't seen Odyssey. You guys
either love or hate Christopher Nolan movies, but I think I've seen all of them in the theater and given them a shot. Tenet was pretty fun.
Baron Corbin. That's right, in WWE. I should have known that. I've seen Baron Corbin live a couple times, even with Independent.
Baron Corbin?
Yeah, he's a wrestler. He's a big, tall guy. He's from Independent Wrestling, but made a little bit of a look there in WWE for a minute. He's like in the last 5 years. All right, what else is going on? Here, let's go to the negative side, because everything's pretty much up today in the tech space, right? So you have PayPal. We can see what PayPal's up to. PayPal was one of those names that, PYPL, they had their little boost there. Maybe if I keep that there and you guys can sort of see the daily chart right there. DFNS. Okay, we'll get that Pepe in a second. But PayPal to the downside. Walmart as well, down again, down to 110 here today. Shopify. Some of the software names were the ones getting hit. But why? Like, why Google? Why? Google down there, Amazon down as well. So yeah, just a little look there at the watch list and some of the names that maybe are going oppo of what we all thought. With the market being up 2%, maybe we would not have thought that of such a name to the downside. So just be careful with everything here. But yeah, we're ready. We're getting ready for Brian. Hopefully very, very soon. Do we have to go?
We'll get the super chat. Let's get the super chat here. And shout out to, well, first of all, the Pepe billionaire. That is in Canadian dollars. So
we love
contractually obligated to hit that one every single time we get a super chat in Canadian. So it's like a toonie in there. Thank you for the toonie.
Yeah, throw it down.
Anytime we see that, what's going on.
We got to tariff that $2 though.
Well, that's a given. It's 50% tariffs right now.
Wait a minute, is President Trump tariffing the super chats?
It's 50%. 50%.
Oh God, so that's really only $1? Oh great.
Yeah. Hey, a loony's
buy a coffee.
A loony's better than nothing.
Yeah, this guy's dancing around on our Canadian dollars over here. No more lumber, Donald.
Don't be rude.
Once the fires are done, then that tariff's going away.
We have the boreal forest is literally, it's 100 times or something the biggest forest that even exists in the United States.
It's insanity.
It might be much more than that.
Until you have to actually look at it on a map to appreciate how big it is. That's the thing with Canada is it's funny. It's absurdly large.
They're like, oh, why don't you just get some migrant workers? I heard what some of them were talking about. Why don't you just get some migrant workers to rake the bottom of it so it's not all dry there, so you don't create these. Okay, there's so much of this forest.
No, Mother Nature takes care of this.
You have no idea.
Mother Nature takes care of it. It's not happening.
It's just like you don't even want to go into these
it never
forests.
will. It's not.
Oh man.
No, trust me.
All right, what about DFNS?
It's another one of the reverse split squeeze plays. So you kind of know the drill here. If you're not re-threatening any of the like the head short, like the big whale shorts, like to sit in these after they've gone up, then you could absolutely be running out of steam. It's already shown you this top of 8.5, 8 to 8.5, or it couldn't really get through. Good news is it's not like there haven't been any massive capitulation bottoms. There was. I don't even see, was that a halt? I guess it had a halt down, but then held VWAP. So the good news would be is every single time that it's had capitulation flush here at the open, a couple of halts, that's still a higher low. Fails the high, puts in a higher low. Fails the top again, putting in a higher low. So the good news is it's still giving you like a violent uptrend, but it's still a bit of an uptrend. But just remember, every single day that these don't break out levels like that, one day you're just gapping down and giving the whole thing up. The only update I'm going to give is, this is what I'm going to say before we go to SIA. At 145, this happened on IBIT. Volume spike back into the downside. IBIT was a long this morning, but this is when it then reversed. I wonder if a BMNR at VWAP and went short. If this pops back into VWAP, I'll probably get reloaded in BMNR. But IBIT was cruising today, and then you had those sort of comments that were coming from.
But before we go in here, we have a request. Here it is, Case. This is for you, Case. There it goes. She wants the money. money. And I want to say a big shout out to you for supporting the channel, always with those memberships and everything like that. So I said to Neil earlier, I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard so many Case before.
But I didn't know you were talking about Case.
Yeah. Just Sharif is there was a time there where he must have said her name, and assume a female, maybe 10 times in 30 seconds. There's one of the names was running to the high side. So thank you so much for the super chats there. It's great to have such a great community. And I know that a lot of you are attached to that midday show. And I want to thank you for joining us as well right here. And it's just a little bit of a different feel, obviously, with all the shows. And that's what we're going for, actually. So thank you for everybody to come through every single day, man. I mean, we're having a lot of good fun here. And by the way, Case, there it is right now. I'll spin it for my damn self. All right, NVIDIA now upside. And we just get that look right there again on NVDA. The other reason, honestly, to rotate out, and shout out to Joe, and I know we've all sort of been saying this, and remember you were kicking yourself for not having some AMD, and it's because we put our money into NVIDIA. So what I was thinking about is that I think NVIDIA is one of my largest holdings. We keep talking about it back and forth. Every day it seems to change a little bit. But why not sell some AMD? And you guys maybe tell me why this is incorrect. I don't know. Sell some AMD and put it into NVIDIA. I mean, AMD has literally gone ham, and NVIDIA is just like where is the ham? You know, it's thinking that like, I'm not even, is the Grinch who stole Christmas also stole the roast beast here or something? Because this one should be going harder. These guys are the king of everything here in AI. It's not just the GPUs, man. It's the machines involved with the GPUs. Like, these aren't just simple, small little cards that you're plugging into a computer and all of a sudden these large language models are just, you know, appearing and everything. There's software that's associated with this. I believe NVIDIA just is an absolute monster. It's so heavy. But I mean, the heavy excuse, I used to use it until I saw what the hell Apple was doing. And that didn't take, you know, this overtook NVIDIA actually as the largest market cap in the world. And it didn't take that long for that to get going. So all you need is some positive talk. You need some hedge funds to turn on and just some love to get back in for NVIDIA. And man, I think this thing really will fly. Just because of the sort of the thought that we're having is that it hasn't made those moves. And it's not an ARM, it's not a Marvell. I understand it's not an AMD. This appreciated throughout. Here, you want me to show you when this thing worked? When people were buying it and when I was made fun of for buying it at $100 pre-split. I still remember that. Shout out to my good friend Peter. He's that big, huge guy. Used to be, yeah, you know him, that's what I was gonna say. He used to be my bodyguard. He was like, when, you know, this is pre-split and NVIDIA went to 2,400 in split. But look, this is when NVIDIA had its moves, man. In 2018, this was $5, okay? In 2023, all right, where were you guys in September of 2022? All right, smoking a doob, doing whatever. Well, guess what? If you put that and rolled it up into NVIDIA shares, then right now, that was $13 back 3 years ago. Wait a second, what year are we in? 4 years ago. Yeah, that's right. Here, Back to the Futures. I don't know what time we're in right now, but that was 4 years ago. You could have had NVIDIA at $13. And the story was just starting, man. There was crypto. I mean, look, this is part of why I put money into NVIDIA too, which I would have put more in, because I was buying those GPUs for the crypto rigs. So it was way before 2022 that we knew all about NVIDIA, okay? So I think that move, by the way, keep going upside NVIDIA, I like it. Now almost $3 in the money, but this is why NVIDIA is what it is and why AMD has had its most recent move, because AMD just took a minute to get going. And I, really like this move back up. And it's just so funny that we're gonna have Brian back on today, because it was just last week, it was yesterday, it was a day before that I was saying that we had Brian on and it was up here at 550 and it was like, are we gonna get out? So I take the opportunity to get some out here at 495 and then 2 days later, it's back up to 550 again. So sometimes patience pays. And it looks like today for AMD, patience would have won out, because up another 8% right there as well. All right, we'll get, that's just way too long of me talking, but we're gonna go to Sia, then we'll hear from Neil.
The SPY is currently up 0.80% on the day. The triple Qs are up 2%. We have the Dow that's up 0.70%, and the IWM also in the green, up very close to 1.5%, safe to say. All major averages looking pretty good for now. Let's take a look at two things here. GPC, that's Genuine Parts Company, after management has confirmed that the company isn't in talks with any competitor over a potential transaction. Now, as a context to this, earlier in the month, Bloomberg had reported, citing certain people, that O'Reilly Automotive was interested in acquiring Genuine Parts, whose auto parts business, but also O'Reilly, was up last nearly 4%. So the acquisition will not be taking place. This is what our reports are suggesting. So the company's stock is down close to 5% on the day. We'll also take a look at Equifax, that's EFX. That's also down on the day, over 5% right now. They've issued third quarter guidance that has disappointed Wall Street, calling for adjusted earnings of $2.15 to $2.25 per share on revenue of $1.68 billion to $1.71 billion. So FactSet consensus had anticipated $2.26 per share in earnings and $1.71 billion in revenue.
Oh, revenue, because growth is king. Speaking of revenues, big revenues for AMC on their earnings, although this one was a flush. I found out like 2 seconds ago that I thought I paid for locates on this one, but we didn't. I feel like this is threatening a bit of a breakdown. So yeah, it tried to catch a bid this morning. was able to get close enough to VWAP, and then now it's underneath. I'm just feeling like consolidation here. Break down, get it before it gets into the low. So I want to pay for some locates on this bad boy and get locked and loaded for this. A guest that needs no introduction, and I'm sure probably doesn't care about AMC. But we'll look at the technicals on just about anything. We teased it. Make sure you get your questions locked and loaded because Brian Shannon is back. Earnings season, Brian. There's a lot at stake here. Chips going crazy. Obviously, memory flying all over the place. We've got these small cap ridiculous things doing 100 bajillion% that maybe we'll get a question to from our viewers. First off, how's your week been?
Bajillion%.
Good so far. Sure. I mean, it's only Tuesday, but yeah, off to a good start.
That's what we like to hear. So right off the bat, I think the first thing that I want to ask you about is straight up memory. Right?
I'm losing mine with age, by the way.
First of all, I've been losing my memory for even longer.
How come every time we have Brian on, he looks younger and younger?
Because
I'm looking older and older every day. I have to wear this kind of stuff to make you back in my youth over here. Brian, what's the secret over
here? The altitude, right?
It must be, yeah.
Okay.
I think it is the Rocky Mountains.
Humble guy over there.
Rocky Mountains, it's got to be.
All right, sorry for interjecting there.
No, I want to ask you about specifically, what are your thoughts on, we'll talk DRAM, maybe Micron, SanDisk. I don't know whichever one is speaking to you the most. But if you just look at specifically DRAM, we pulled back so far, right? Lose the 50-period moving average, basically go well past bear territory in here, losing almost 40% from the highs, and you've made this break, and this looks like a reversal, up 11% today after that turnaround at $50. Trap, or is this like the patented buy the dip, and we're riding the wave back to the highs? Because it does have that potential head and shoulders look coming in here that could be a trap, and we are going into earnings season.
Yeah, if you think about earnings, though, we just had Micron, and Micron was basically the catalyst for this sell-off. I've been focused mainly on MU, which is basically the same chart as DRAM. But let's just talk about this one for a moment, because the earnings came out on this day right here. They came out after the close, actually, this day. It gapped up and has sold off 30-something% in bear market territory. All the negative headlines broke the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern. And guess what happened? We got a reversal. And that's the way it's actually supposed to happen. And I outlined this last week on Twitter right over here on this day. That what I was expecting was for us to break this neckline and then reverse higher. Because who sells after the stock has already been down 35%? Who sells short down there after it's already been 35%? You're way late to the game. And it might have been good for a day, day and a half. But we came right down to the anchor, this purple anchor from the ceasefire. And then that's where the bounce emerged. Now, today we gapped above the 5-day moving average. And I'm long this as of right this point here as it reclaimed the VWAP. Chase the gap or wait for VWAP, as you know I always say in a chapter of my book. I sold a quarter of it right here, and I just sold another quarter actually over here as it broke this low. We had a lower high right here and then this lower low. So I have a half a position from right here, and I'm hoping, of course, that it just continues to ramp higher. But we've got the stock up 25% basically in 3 days. It's likely to break out. And then again, if it breaks out past that $1,000 level, you got to wonder who's going to be buying right there after a 25% rally in 3-4 days. It doesn't make sense. So people will look at it and say, hey, it's breaking past that resistance. And then it's likely to pull back like this. And if it creates a higher low, then recovers in here, then we're probably going to new highs. But for now, I'm just taking a little swing trade piece as well. Actually, for now, day trade. Going to hold half of it overnight for a swing, and we'll see what the market gives us. But I think you can't ignore the cash machines that these companies still are. And it just has to be that you have to line up the technicals along with those fundamentals. You just can't blindly buy because earnings were good.
Yeah, I think that's such a big point. You cannot blindly buy just because earnings are good. And I feel as if maybe we're going to see a little bit of that in a name that reports this week, still chips, but not memory related. Reporting tomorrow after the bell is going to be Intel. Now, first off, there's always a lot of questions like, what do you think is going to happen to Intel? What's this stock going to do going into earnings or after earnings? And obviously, just predicting how earnings are going to go is a bit of a crapshoot. There hasn't been the same level of hype, I think, around Intel and AMD, but they're moving almost as violently, I think, and they're sort of in that vein here. Is your analysis the same? Because I just feel like the sentiment is it's memory first, everything else second, and this one hasn't quite gotten back. Like, where Micron's at that 1,000 level. Here with Intel, it would need to sort of push up 10% into earnings and then still have to break out. Does this look a little bit more bearish to you because it's not on that cusp?
Well, we've got the 20-day moving average below the 50-day moving average. That 50 will be declining. If we get a pop into earnings, I think this is a likely spot where, again, maybe it breaks past these little peaks right here in that gap lower and then starts to carve out a higher low. But for right now, today, we have our first signs of strength in the last couple of weeks. We've been below this declining 5-day moving average, and I don't remember when I drew those in, must have been recent, but we've had lower highs and lower lows below the declining 5-day moving average. Ideally, it either pulls back or, I wasn't focused on this one today, but it's kind of the same setup. Chase the gap or wait for VWAP. Either you chase that gap and wait and experience that pullback, or you wait for it to get back above the VWAP, buy there with a stop under this low. It makes a higher high. Maybe you raise your stop to break even. With the catalyst coming, it's more of a crapshoot, but Micron will be affected by these earnings most likely as well. So I think you get it up towards this level. It would be nice to see, but I would not be a buyer there. I would expect it to pull back a little bit, very similar to the way we saw AEHR pull back a little bit and now resume back to the upside.
A repository of symbols and examples. That's what I love to see. Before I throw you, Sean, I want to flip gears just a little bit here to ask you about cybersecurity names. Because, look, we just spent time talking about two names that have actually dipped and lost uptrend and what they do next. PanW, CrowdStrike, on their little dip, they're a little bit more threatening to break what has been a fantastic uptrend. Double top here on PanW. They've been riding the wave for a while. Is this time to jump off of the ship, or is this just, you see a consolidation at the top in a strong sector?
The momentum is really still strong. We've been riding this rising 20-day moving average. Here we are testing it again today. And like you said, this is potentially the double top. What would confirm the double top is a break of this low. And if it does that, then we look at it and say the height of this pattern is 360 down to let's just call it 315, which would be 45 points. And we subtract 45 points off of that. That would give us a price target down at about 275. So, I don't know when the earnings are due for any of these stocks, but they're all kind of looking similar in that, the more times any level of support is tested, whether it's a moving average, horizontal, or whatever, the more likely it is to fail. So they're extended, they're testing that 20 more frequently. I think the dangers are a little bit higher. And at a minimum, you need to have an exit strategy for a portion of what you own. For a longer term trader, maybe you take a piece off underneath this higher low right here, because the pattern still is higher highs and higher lows. And, as long as that's still the definition of trend, then, you give it the benefit of the doubt to the buyers, but just, be a little bit more cautious.
Hey, Brian, what's going on? Just real quickly here on SpaceX, let's go over the screen now. We're now $4 in the money on this one, Brian. We tried to go long, trying to break that 130, and I was like, nah, that wasn't happening. So now we're going short, and we're getting out every 50 cents on the way down. I'm still not as good as trying to pick my out, so we just pick it apart here, down now. Now $4 in on that one and $3 long on NVIDIA there today as well. Right. Too many outs, but okay, that's not why. I just want to show the viewers in case you were wondering where our outs are coming through. So I did ask, because Neil and I always go back and forth with you about some names. And right here, Travman in the chat wanted to know about Netflix. What are your thoughts about Netflix and potentially finding some kind of a bottom here? Now, of course, we don't have to worry about earnings, Brian. They reported last week. And Netflix, oops, let me fix my chart. Netflix has been on a very negative downward trend here. Not really too many bumps in the road to get us out of some of our longs. I mean, if you managed to somehow get long here back early July, I mean, it must have maybe went 10% there in 2 days and then just got crushed right back down to the downside. So here we go, man. Netflix breaking below some of those key levels that we had held during Paramount, Sky, Warner Brothers, all that discussion. It looks like right now Netflix getting taken out. Do we buy down here? Do we give it a little bit of time? What do you think on Netflix? I know it looks a little bit better on the monthly.
Yeah, I always like to give it a little bit of time. Let's look at this weekly chart. We'll look at a couple things. One, we'll take the low. That was clearly an important low down in 2022 and go to this all-time high. We're coming into a 61.8% retracement near about 61.5. And that's often a place where buyers are found. Then I'll take the anchor off of that low, and you'll see that it touched, it's still way down there. So that's not as relevant. But we do the handoff technique and say the next level is where it was last touched, and that ties basically that 61.8% retracement. The next handoff occurred basically right here, and we're already below that. So to me, where we have two things lining up, the 61.8% retracement and this anchor, right around that 61-ish level is where it seems like it still has the potential to drop down to, and that's another 10%. So I don't think there's any hurry to get involved in it.
Okay, yeah, that $50 marker, wow, okay. We don't want to look too much and too far at that. I mean, $50, 60, whatever. I mean, you got to get through 60 to get to 50, but just a scary look there, as I know there's a lot of traders that are in to Netflix right now. A name that you'd helped us guide through before was NewScale, which of course is symbol SMR. And you had sort of drawn, and I guess I can go back here, maybe do a weekly right now for SMR. And I know that, uranium is not really in focus right now. We did have a huge run in this name up to 57 actually as a top there, and battled around this $48 mark a couple times before eventually giving it up. But this was a relatively new name that came here. It was a $10 SPAC. Then it IPO'd in and around, I guess, July 11th or so of 2022, made its lows at an amazing $2 right there. And I think you had drawn an anchored VWAP for us somewhere near its initial IPO. And once it broke that, then we started to go for the upside. Both you and Brian Shannon, I know you're Brian Shannon, you and Michael Noss, I know we're both looking at this one. Hi, Brian. This is Sean. That's my friend Neil over there. But Michael Noss and you were both indicating some of those breakouts on SMR. So do you have anything for us right now? I mean, it looks like we go all the way back here to September of 24, looking for some battles there that might happen in around the $7 mark. But what say you on this name? You helped us out with Intel, with the 40-year anchor VWAP there. What are you thinking about SMR at some of these levels? I mean, maybe there's room for upside here?
I just don't see anything really. I mean, maybe just an oversold bounce, but that I just drew that line across to see where you related to what you were talking about. This low is kind of, like you said, playing with this 2004 area. Let me just use an arrow so you can see it right in here. But we're still below a declining 20, 50, 200-day moving average. You're likely to continue to get some of these bounces, and if people are into trading the bounces, great. Just be aware we're in one of these bounces. Maybe it runs up to the conjunction of the 50 and the 200 up here, and that would be a great trade up towards 11. But if it does bounce up towards that level, keep in mind it's still just a bounce. Guilty until proven innocent. Make sure you harvest those profits along the way, because if they don't scare you out, Sean, they'll do what?
If they don't scare you out, they will wear you out.
That's right. So if you haven't been scared by this, it's going to, I know. I hope it gets it.
Oh my God, this guy's killing me.
Likely.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% right. And wow, I felt like I was back in school there. I didn't want to disappoint the teacher over here.
There, Brian. Come on.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. No, I would have been like, the fact is, he's mentioned that to us like a dozen times,
I know, but
or more. So for
remember
me
about the memory?
You not to get that. Yeah, actually, that's right. I gave a little bit of a caveat there beginning the show. All right, the Mag 7 guy has asked a couple times, and really nicely, because there's two reallys in here. So the Mag 7 guy would really, really like to get some insight on Microsoft. Because he put really twice, we'll ask you. So, and why, I'll answer this last part, why the overnight, the buying urge is always gone. So I'm going to give you a reason for the overnight, why sometimes Microsoft gets excited and then gives it back a little bit, is because of the software names. You're always getting downgrades. Like today we got a downgrade with CRM, and people look at, you know, the IGV, Brian, of course, and Microsoft's in the IGV, so is Palantir, some of these Adobe, some of the software names that just aren't the same as Microsoft. You know, Microsoft does get wrapped up in that. So I was going to say, to answer Trav there about Microsoft and why sometimes, you know, it looks good in the morning and then kind of gets faded out. I think that's the IGV and some pressure on that. So that could be a reason there. But with Microsoft earnings coming up, Brian, I made this one of my picks heading. So we just did some fun picks that buying in July and selling in December. So, you know, the last second half of the year, I put Microsoft in that bundle. I thought they have a good opportunity to get back to the upside here. I'm looking at it trying to break this 50-period moving average and potentially seeing a double bottom down here around 360. Is Microsoft looking productive here at these levels, or do we still got to get above this 430 area?
It's looking productive, but not quite there yet. It's building for productivity. And we've got this level right here, which is basically the year-to-date anchor, which is that thick blue line. And you can see that this was prior resistance, turned support, and now we're testing it again. So I always ask myself, where has it come from in the near term? It just rallied from $350
what the hell?
to 400. And so where is it likely to go before it encounters a potential source of supply, which might become resistance? And I think you're right there. So for the people who, you know, are looking at it in terms of, hey, it's time for me to break even, there's likely to be natural supply in this area because those prior resistance turned support back to likely resistance. So I'd like to see it continue to maybe, you know, pull back down towards that 20-day moving average and tighten up a little bit, and then maybe make a run for the anchor off of the tariff lows anchor up near that I think you said 430, 435.
Yeah, 430, yeah.
So another pullback first would be really constructive for it to make a higher low, test the 20, test the anchor off this recent low, absorb some of this supply that's likely to be found right in here.
So Travman and myself would like to really, really thank you for that. We also really want to thank you for this book. It's Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. You guys can go pick this up. We do have Brian Shannon live with us right now at Alpha Trend. So go check him out there on X, on StockTwits, and definitely grab this book. Maybe there's another one being written. I have a feeling there, Brian. But before we let you go, you've answered a lot of questions about some names that Neil and I have thrown at you. Is there anything that you're giving some of your followers or any sort of information that you'd like to share with us about potential moves to come here and what you're looking at over the next couple of days, weeks? It's up to you.
Sure. I think you could start with just something pretty conservative, the XBI. The biotechs have had a strong run this last month or so, and they have pulled back. Here's the anchor from the beginning of that move. And you can see they're holding that anchor right now. We still have a rising 20-day moving average, but this shows exactly why I don't buy the touch of the moving average or the touch of the VWAP. Instead, it's a place to say, let's take a closer look on the shorter term time frame. This is where this is the moving bars of the 5-day moving average. So this shows where we were 5 days ago. That's why, as we're getting rid of this data right now, replacing it with this data in the average, it's starting to flatten out. So I think that the pullback has probably shown its low in the biotechs. And you know, if we had just another little higher low, it would be perfect. I'm probably going to buy this tomorrow. A higher low would be best because then I could put my stop under here. But I like the biotechs with a stop right now under here. Ideally, like I said, it carves out a higher low and then gets going. In that group, a speculative name that it's one of these weight loss drugs is VKTX. I see a lot of people posting bullish stuff about this fundamentally. I don't know what the story is really, but I look at this longer term chart here on the weekly, this resistance holding as support, and it looks like it might have the potential to run up towards that 43, 44 level, which is the anchor off of the all-time high. So what would hurt that would be if it was to get below this low. So I've got an eye on XBI, and if you want the individual name, but it's, you know, it's not profitable. They don't have their drug out yet. The more speculative play is VKTX. Or with XBI, of course, if you wanted some bang for your buck, you could always go with LABU.
All right, yeah, we like that. The IBB, the XBI. Love Viking Therapeutics.
It's often a takeout. It's often considered as a takeout target because everyone knows that they don't really have the capital to get, even when they get their GLP out, they don't have the capital to bring it to production without going to the capital markets. And then you've got like the Mercs and the Pfizer's trying to figure it out for themselves. So people are always speculating that they could get bought, which does give it a little bit more juice. Like that XBI, and thanks for that look there, Brian. It's a great one.
Hey, by the way, Sean, I'm looking at your SpaceX falling apart, which is beautiful.
It's dying.
Did you see where this rally was halted today? Right at the declining 5-day moving average.
Ah, you like those 5-day moving averages. Yeah, we're gonna have
I mean, it's rallies up to those in a downtrend. Look, that's why you, at a minimum, if you're long, you tighten your stop. I don't know why you would be long with a stock below that.
Anyone's long this
anyways, just curious to see that there.
declining 5-day. Yeah, we're gonna add that to our charts and start looking at that a little bit more. I know you've something that you've instituted for our viewers a while. And I guess that happened a couple days ago as well. You just pointed out there on the declining 5-day.
Can we put that back up for us, if you could?
You had it a couple days ago too. Was it a week ago? Right there. Yeah.
Right, last week right here.
Yeah, right there. Wow. Absolutely amazing. So another one there. Yeah, I tried to go long through 130 there and it didn't work out. So we got out and now we're $6 in. Wow. And it's collapsing all over. Wow, Brian, this is actually falling apart. And we're just sitting here. Look, maybe we should just keep you on or have you on every day. I mean, when you first came on, I was like, oh, I'm going to get out a VWAP right here. That was 126. And then since then, down another $3. And you know what the problem is here, Brian? One of your favorite money managers last night went in and bought some SpaceX and probably turned the machines on there today, hoping that others would follow her, if you know who I'm talking about. And actually, right now, not Kathy, we're not involved right now. I got someone more important on the line right here with Brian, but she's waiting for more people to join her. It doesn't look like they are, as SpaceX coming right back in to that breakout level that they had this morning, which makes me think I need to get a little piece out right here. But Brian, it's always a fantastic ride with you here for 20 or so minutes. So we want to thank you, and as do all of the viewers. I want to point everybody to your X account there, to StockTwits at Alpha Trends. And if you say one more minute, I'll give you 2.
A little trick I like with a stock like SpaceX that's falling apart like this when I'm short. Look at this 2-minute time frame. Every one of these highs is lower than the previous one. So for me, when I see that, if it breaks above this 2-minute bar right here, that's where I cover some. And it looks like it's maybe about to happen. So it got me out of a great short yesterday. And anyways, that's a nice little technique when they start having really strong momentum.
Yeah, I like that, the 2-minute bars. Look. Yeah, we'll have to. There's so many things we got to add to the charts.
There's definitely a lot.
But yeah, thank you, Brian, again. Always great information, and I know the viewers and Neil and I really appreciate you.
Really do, brother.
Coming every single day. So that's Brian, or every single Tuesday. That's Brian Shannon. Thank you so much for coming through, and I'm going to start exiting some of this SpaceX trade as we speak. So thank you, Brian. Have a great rest of your week.
You too. Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. All right. Well,
it's bleeding its own blood.
I want to Sharif.
I actually think that would be a good technique for the IPOs too. Now that I'm thinking about it.
So you know what I was going to say about the bleeding your own blood thing? I mean, who else's blood are you going to be bleeding?
No,
like,
it's
that's the thing. I know
it's
Sharif
a line
always,
from a movie.
Which movie? Like I know Sharif says it.
He says
I'm going to ask Sharif what's up with that one.
No, I know it's.
Is it an old Western or something?
No. It's Dodgeball. It's
Dodgeball. Okay. It's,
what's the guy's name?
The instructor.
Global Gym.
Yeah. Well, not Ben Stiller's guy.
Ben Stiller. What's the guy's name? Come on.
Okay, that's where it's from. Anyway. Okay, I was gonna say all right because.
By the way, you're gonna want to watch
the stock is bleeding its own blood. Well, I mean, SpaceX is not bleeding Tesla's blood.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the movie that you're gonna like the most in the next year. This randomly came to my mind. I Play Rocky. I saw the trailer for this thing. It's a Sylvester Stallone movie about how he wanted to make Rocky himself and star in it.
Is it a Sylvester Stallone movie?
No, but there's a dude playing Sylvester Stallone who looks like, from the trailer, I'm like, this is me.
Patches O'Houlihan.
If you like the movie, you're going to go nuts for this. I love the trailer.
Okay, we'll have a look at that.
I think Rocky is one of the best.
The amount of biopics that they trot out in the second half of the year every year for like Oscar bait never ceases to amaze me. Like, I have a lot of respect for Stallone writing Rocky in 84 hours, and I've said that before on this show. A lot of respect for that. Does it need to be a movie? I mean, we'll find out. But I just find the timing of this always to be very sus, and I have to point it out.
Got to get that Oscar back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing about the Oscars.
That's what it's all about, man.
I mean, that's where you want to try to win those Oscars. And of course, apparently Matt Damon may be up for one with Odyssey. I haven't seen that yet. We will be seeing that when my kids get back.
Of course
and
he's up for
Marissa sent me a picture. It is like blue skies like crazy right now where I live. So it's just 20 minutes west.
I had to shorten my
downtown.
walk today because the whole time I was looking up like, am I gonna get dumped on like in 2
Yeah.
seconds? And
I already put into the into our team chat that I'm going to stop by the Diamond on my way home and see what the flooding looks like.
oh, it's drenched.
If that's what because we're not playing at the Little League. We don't often, if it's not, unless it's the weekend, we don't practice at the Little League Diamond. So we play on diamonds with gravel and everything. So that's not going to.
No, those are trash.
That's not going to do well for the drainage, is the word that I'm looking at. And do you think the Jays need to drain the swamp here or what? Because trade deadline's coming up. Do we want to give them? We had the same problem with the Leafs. It's like they were just good enough, but then they weren't. So traded some assets. Did the Blue Jays?
I'm gonna give you an example that is very apt for right here. Typically, when you're trading at the deadline, you're giving up like your free agent assets, the guys that aren't
like
going to be here next year.
Varsho, Springer.
Our guys who are usual targets are playing like they're SpaceX.
Yeah, I know.
What are you supposed to do if the dudes that you're supposed to be selling, if you're bad, are playing like crap?
I mean, even
you
Gosman
have to hold
is
them.
not even tradable.
You have to, your best bet is you're only 4 or 5 games out of the wild card. They don't have any value. You've just got to hold them and try to turn it around.
I
hate to say it, but that's
around. I think Vladdy. The thing is, can you imagine paying a guy $500 million? It's game 102 right now, and he has no home runs at home yet. He almost got one last night. I hope he turns it around. Vladimir means everything to the Blue
He's got to be. There's got to be. An but anyway,
I think there is a problem. It has to be. They're saying it's his back. Maybe.
Well, the telltale sign was that his bat speed's been steadily declining.
He's had
you can now they track
years,
it.
Maybe 2.5 good years.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was all worth it.
You can always point to the fitness when people start losing bat speed when they're younger.
I thought
shouldn't be losing bat
his
speed when
fitness
you're
was getting better, but maybe it's.
Well, in theory.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
that's
you
a
never
real
know. Hopefully he gets healthy. Anyways, I was just asking you because I know NBA. Major League Baseball trade deadline isn't it August 1st?
I've lost my hopes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So okay, so I do want them to sort of do a little bit of a wholesale there. The guys that took us to the promised land last year just aren't Springer's not him.
Springer's trash
right now, and then what's his name is hurt.
Barger's trash. Barger's hurt. Pitching's trash. Everything is trash.
Yeah, Savage. Anyways, here's great.
Yeah,
book.
shout out to Brian Shannon. And the funny thing
Shout out to Joe as well.
The funny thing about when we have Brian on is I feel like, and this is important, I feel like everybody learns something. I know we learn something new every single time we have Brian on, like that 2-minute. And I was genuinely thinking of the first thing that came to mind is okay, well, you see that. Go back to Sean's start for a second. You see actually, I can.
Yeah, just call up. Say yours charts to be cleaner than mine.
No, I want to show a 15-minute.
Yeah, okay.
15-minute charts it's easier to see. Oh, I should have just re-entered. But to be able to see when something distinctly changes, that kind of a hammer or this uptrend, that's exactly what that opening trade looks like on an IPO. And oftentimes, well, where should I be getting out? I think that same notion. When you get candles which are Captain Insano candles, you want to have reasons. I've been pulling up 5-second charts to try to figure some stuff out. But that 2-minute, maybe not so bad, or maybe you have to go to a different time frame to see what the patterns might be when you're extending like this. This also happened to fill in the gap to the breakout this morning because the breakout was at 123.5 in the open range, and that seems to be also where it is going. So it is 3:50. It's actually already 3:15. I didn't see the power hour thing happen today.
That's probably Brian was still on.
Yeah, of course it did. But there's a couple of early looks. This thing is being deleted. If you've never heard of it, it's probably going to be a bunch of million shares. NSA. CRM is already a buy of 2 million. That's worth tracking because they stink. And they got a downgrade today. All the software got downgraded here today. It is still going.
I don't know. So people in the chat, the lockup period is going to be an absolute disaster for SpaceX. And we've talked about how there's many employees out there that, and this is according to them. I've been reading X posts and all this kind of stuff, and they are just waiting to dump. I don't know what percentage. No one's actually saying. I don't think anybody wants to go public and say, what exactly they're trying to do with it. But, once that lockup happens, and I believe it's August 6th, I think, Adara, is where we're looking for SpaceX's report.
I think so. They said they're going to be reporting now on August 4th. I believe that's when the lockup's going to start. So because we were thinking August 6th. That I guess was just assumed. They've confirmed now the 4th.
So August 4th, you're now talking about 15 trading days or less, and then. Yeah, so probably less. Yeah, it's already the 21st. Yeah, so, you're going to get, I'm bidding 123.05. Like, I didn't think we would get this, man. Like, I could have been short. I actually went to the gym today, did a couple laps in the pool, and I had this, I was like, let me think about, like, you know, where could SpaceX actually be? And I was thinking, like, when I'm done, could this thing be all the way back to the open? And of course, you can tell when I get back here and start trading again, it's at 128. So I was like, SpaceX didn't make that move down that I was hoping for, but then it just absolutely took out some levels, 126, and now going lower into 123. We'll sit there for the bid, see if we could take it. We now do, unfortunately, have about 15% left, as we've been, and I thought I've been doing pretty good on the way down, just little by little, like 2-3% all the way down in, and trying to now think about what Brian said there, and I'm up for any kind of up for any sort of a help on like how to hold these things a little bit more. But yeah, nice downside take there. He was talking about every 2 minutes, check that 2-minute bar out. And if you close higher than the previous high of that 2-minute bar, that's when you may want to start to cover, because he was saying that during this move, he was just sort of starting, and right when we left him, it was actually trying to break 124, and that's when I guess we made that, because I guess there's 4 minutes right there, and there's the take higher. So yeah, good look by Brian. I want to tell him thank you for sharing some of that information with me as well. So yeah, big one there. Thank you, Brian, and thank you to all the viewers as well for supporting the channel. We just did get another piece out of NVIDIA there as it bumped back up to the 50 period. So I'm going to close out NVIDIA if we take 206.50. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but so far so good here today as wow, man. We are just in love with trading SpaceX since its IPO. I believe it's Sia over at the desk.
It is indeed. The IWM up a little bit over 8%. Two tickers for you. VOYG, that's up over 7% on the day, participating in a conference, which is the 46th annual Canaccord Genuity Growth Conference, which will happen in the 11th of August, on the 11th of August in Boston. Management of the company will be participating in certain meetings and investor meetings as well. Second one you have is RBBN, Ribbon Communications, up 6% on the day, set to announce its second quarter results on July 28th after the market closes, after the bell rings. Earnings are expected to be disclosed at exactly 4:03 p.m. Eastern Time, and revenue estimate for the company currently is at $189.99 million USD.
Thank you to Sia, of course.
Thank you, Sia. I mean, we just broke 123 there. I mean, now SpaceX is now $6 and going lower. Like, I just took another bid there. I don't really have an idea for a bid now, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, that just came right back into where we broke out, which is why I was bidding every 50 cents and a dollar anyways. I actually put this, if you guys, I mean, you follow whoever you want. I mean, it's free world, as we talk about here as well. But I just posted this. This is when it was at 125, 126 and starting to break down. We actually posted it earlier as well with this little spaceship rocket. Here it is. Here's the post right here. This is 4 hours ago when we said, trying the SpaceX short. Yeah, trying it, that's for sure. And it's don't need to try too hard here, as it's doing all the work for us right now. SpaceX absolutely falling down. This is what happens when Kathy turns the machines off, and now you are hitting downside right now for
it's not just her.
No, it's, I mean,
There was a congressperson that apparently for the first time made a trade.
And bought it?
So the story was, it's not a big deal, but I think the way that it was framed, I'm going to try to pull, if I can find it again. Here we go. SpaceX stocks proves irresistible. Or I can pop it out. To a congressman, I said woman, congressman who didn't trade for 6 years. So whoever William Timmons is, the first time they bought anything in 6 years and disclosed, they bought 50,000 to 100,000. And if they bought 50,000, then they now have 45,000 worth of SpaceX stock. I don't know. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, who knows?
Or
less.
That's what I said. Less. I said less, right?
Yeah, or less than that number.
Or yeah, exactly.
You bought 55,000. You maybe
they don't have to. Maybe they can reverse disclose because it's absolutely bleeding. I wish I hadn't bought yet. I'll be
obviously anybody that bought anything before today.
I walked to the bathroom with past Joe, and I'm like, why didn't I wait to take the 20% after earnings? I believe we're going to the desk with Adara.
Yeah, I looked into this because I was curious. I've never heard of William Timmons, and you guys know that I love everything that's happening in Capitol Hill. I'm currently listening to Pete Hegseth's hearing, and I have never heard of William Timmons. So this is not a man who is super on my radar for whatever that is worth, and I've heard of a lot of these guys. What's worth noting as well here, though, because I was curious about the timing, as Neil, I think, mentioned there, June 15th was the date of the purchase, so it was well over a month ago. It was being mentioned here as of yesterday morning, so this is by no means a new purchase, nor is it a newly announced purchase as far as I can tell, although I know this Benzinga article came out about an hour ago, 2 hours ago. But yeah, so this is like not a brand new transaction, nor is it newly announced. It was apparently up to $100,000 worth. And what's also interesting is he sits in the House subcommittee on AI. So I'm just going to sit there like this and let you guys do the math on that. Back to you.
Oh, that's at least interesting. I was going to say that guy looks like he should be like the 11th man on an NBA bench, just coming in garbage time, like jack up some threes. The
trainer.
But he also looks like Chad Curtis a little bit, so he used to play for the Yankees. But no, but if you're on the subcommittee for AI and you like SpaceX, it makes you wonder, the government usually knows a little something. I mean, it's not that it's a big deal, but it does make you feel a little bit better that long term, at least some people who might be in the know on some things that will happen in the future seem to like it a little bit, but ball don't lie.
I ain't taking
Like
my
right
investing
now-
advice from that
Right
dude.
now it's a sell. Well, I always look at it as it's the reasons why I will like something more.
Yeah.
It's not investing. Yeah, I could care less. Like, this is something I decided I wanted in my portfolio regardless. It's just a matter of preaching patience and not doing it.
I mean, this thing could be $50 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I still think
That's
that.
not
I still think the 80 level area historically has been like a very, very popular one. So I'm kind of more thinking.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be down there, but it's down $100 from its high, and that was in a month.
Because I think that works out to what,
we still have 6 more months to
700
go.
million or something like that.
Over here.
Whatever that works out to.
Oh
Longer
boy.
term. Look, long term, I think it can be fantastic. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Let's just throw it up there if we can. Trey, there we go. Chris in Minnesota.
I have an apple.
I'm assuming. McDonald's drains a 3 on the 1 minute to cut the lead to 45.
What is McDonald's doing over there?
Yeah, that just means it's making a dead cat bounce. That's one of my favorite things in this world is when somebody bat flips a walk when they're down 10-1, or you're down 25 points and you do all the sellies that you were in love with.
There was that one pitcher that did the DX to somebody, and the team was getting rocked.
I
He
honestly,
DX the other team. He strikes out a guy, they're down like 10-1, and the guy's like, da-na-na-na-na-na.
reason number one for the DH rule to go away. You DX, or just whatever, man. You DX and someone gets thrown at, you just know. I'll never forget. Look, man, I play ball in a men's league, and I remember this one time our pitcher did something stupid. He didn't do the DX, and I remember it was in.
You're not helping your team out.
No, it was at the end of a game, and I'm the leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we play these guys in 1 month. I'm taking one in the back. And lo and behold, I go up there, first pitch, boom, just get planted. I didn't say anything, went to first base, looked my pitcher dead in the eye, and I told him, that was your fault. Asshat.
Well,
anyway,
at least you got on base.
yeah, I stole second too. No, McDonald's, yeah, it didn't drain any 3s. What are we talking about? It fumbled. Nah, man, it braked the 3.
It was in an alley-oop and no one was there, it looks like.
It bungled the rebound, and right now the other team is going coast to coast for the dunk. No, you actually didn't. It didn't even just drain the 3. Would have to have a dead cat bounce. This, unfortunately, for McDonald's, is a flat bottom break through 265. Yuck. Sorry, doesn't look that good. What we got? We got going on here.
What's up, Tony?
Gangsta
What do you want to ask me,
Travis.
Tony? What do you got over there?
Gangsta Travis.
Okay, good.
why
This guy's
not?
right up my alley here.
Haven't been back to the channel in a while. SoFi Stadium called. They want their screen back. Looks good, guys.
No,
Yeah,
SoFi
well, no, they
Stadium.
can't have it
No.
back.
Hey, hello, SoFi. I'd like my money back on the stock right now. So how about that call right there, Gangster Travis?
we all want our money
I can get
back on
Gangster
that
on
stock.
SoFi right now real quick because, like, SoFi has really been a beat-up stock, and this has been taken out and, yeah, definitely kicked down there, SoFi. We'll wait for SoFi earnings. I'm going to actually double-check when SoFi earnings are. It looks like they are in 8 days, Wednesday, July the 29th. And SoFi on earnings goes up and down, it seems like, on almost all of their earnings calls. They get that bump up early in the morning, and just like someone commented earlier about Microsoft, they make their way back down. So yeah, SoFi nice today though, up 2.3%. We like SoFi. It's a good holding for me as well. I do have it. It has been a POS. Okay, yo, what up, Ronnie boy? Thank you for the $5 US, not tariff because it's US dollars, so that's nice. Took a long of 10,000 shares. I have no idea what ELPW is. At 24 cents a share, good. It's very important that you put that 24/7 in there. You know, you get that, oh, because on 10,000 shares, you know, it makes a difference. Holding for a swing. Okay, so the first thing I was gonna ask you is what is ELPW? Why do you want to hold that for a swing? Yeah. The 52-week low is 22 cents. No problem with that as long, yeah, I know, you just want us to pump this for you, so I'll do it for you, whatever. ELPW, we will be your Huckleberry
right there. Metric? Before you pump it, you might want to look at that chart.
I was going to pump it for my guy over here. So I was just going to say, like, as long as that's your out, 22 cents. Like, this has been, reverse split, not reverse split there. I don't know why that went up like that there. And now due for another reverse split. And you're going to wake up one day and this is going to reverse split again. And you're going to think you're up $1 million, but you're not, because the shares are going to get whacked down. Instead of having 10,000 shares, you're going to have 1,000 shares or whatever it's going to be on that reverse. And then it's going to do this again. So just be careful with that money. I know $10,000 shares times 24 cents, relatively, depends on who you are, but relatively small position there of just $2,500 bucks. So I think you could probably afford to lose it all, which in this name, get ready potentially to do that.
I'll tell you right now, I have never, every single time I've been in a penny stock in my personal account, I've always mentally prepared myself for zero. Otherwise, what's the point? Cheese in a chair. My son's baseball team won the championship this weekend at Tufts University in Boston, and they now get to play at Wrigley Field next month.
Beautiful.
I can only imagine how cool that would be.
It's awesome. SpaceX
that Fenway and Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
No. There was a second part to that.
No, it's just his SpaceX short is paying for it.
Well, I wanted to make sure we read the entire thing. My SpaceX short is paying for that trip.
I often make jokes about that too. It's like, I only trade for my family, and that is true. Any profits I make just goes right back into sports. So yeah, man, my daughter, we actually passed on the Boston trip that just happened last weekend. But yeah, congratulations, man. That's
Wrigley,
awesome.
Baby.
Yeah, take all the opportunities and spend all of the money, and actually even go in debt to give those opportunities to your kids, because you're building amazing memories,
man.
So
it is all about memories.
Memories right there. Yeah, now SpaceX now $650 in the money. We just took another out at 122.50. That was a while ago. It did make a move back to 123, but right back in. We're just getting lighter, man. We have literally 10%, like exactly 10% left. So I'm just going to let this go. If we can get a 121, I actually have, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, man. I'm going to take out another 2%. Every way down is basically 2.5% on the way back in. So we'll take out another piece here at 122.15 and just keep on watching this thing go down. I mean, it sucks because, yeah, I bought at 170, I bought at 135. So my average price here, almost exactly 150. So yeah, not great movement there for SpaceX. And we'll see where it goes from here. My guess is lower. And it's funny, as I said to Joe, when we first started the show, I was $2 in the money on both of these names, both NVIDIA and SpaceX. We're now 7 in on SpaceX and 3 in on NVIDIA. So, some stocks are going one way while others are going the other, including the NASDAQ, which is starting to bleed down. Congratulations to my guy Joe over there, who is short the TQQs. So he and I, both those positions, Neil's covered a good one there as well. So we're gonna go back over to Sia now at the desk. It's 3:30 almost.
As we inch closer to the end of the trading day, the SPY has currently maintained its position in the green. It's up very close to 8% today. Let's take a look at the sectors and how they're doing at the moment. You have electric tech, NVIDIA showing strength right off the bat, up very close to 2%. Apple, however, trading flat with AVGO up 2%. And all these chip names have maintained their rally from earlier in the day. AMD, INTC, SNDK, Dell, SPCX, MU all up in the green, maintaining that bullish momentum over here. You have TXN also up 3% on the day. Tech services, you have Google and Microsoft continuing to hold the same position they were earlier in the day, still in the red. Google's down 0.73% and Microsoft down 0.75%. Meta currently up 0.63%. You have Oracle still up as well. It just climbed to 4.04% right now. Also, Workday was cut to underweight from equal by Morgan Stanley earlier today. So Workday is also currently down 4%. You have finance, BRKB flat at the moment, with Visa, MasterCard lagging, with ACHW down 2.6%. Robinhood, however, up 6%, over 6%, inching close to 7. JPM, BAC, MS all up above 1%, and you have GS up 2.4%. Moving on to retail trade, we have Amazon, Walmart, Costco, and now Home Depot joining the pack in the red. Shares sliding down 0.53%. You have ORLY up 3.6%. Finally, you have producer manufacturing, AMAT and LRCX holding the steady momentum from earlier in the day. AMAT is up 7% and LRCX up 4.8%, with CAT up 2.4% and GEV down right now at the moment. LITE continuing to lead the pack, 8.5% up on the day. There's WTLOs down on the day. Energy minerals, you have XOM still climbing a little bit there, up very close to 2%. CVX flat as before in the day. And the rest of the sector board does not seem like it has changed. We have consumer non-durables, KO flat from earlier in the day as well. PG is a bit towards the red, with our PM is down 1.5%. Health tech, you have strength in Lilly today. LLY trading a bit above 1.5% mark. ABBV is up 1%. Also, MRK up 1.3% at the moment. J&J is flat at the moment as well. Consumer durables, you have Tesla up 2%. And rest of the names in that sector, just want to quickly check how GM's doing right now. It's up 4.5%, over 5, almost close to 5% right now. That's a pretty good look over there. Health services, you have UNH climbing over 3%. ELV climbing over 2.5%. Rest of the names looking pretty good. Not a probably good day for SOLV, UHACE, DGX, and LH over here. However, transportation, consumer non-durables, non-energy, and utilities, a bit of a mixed bag of stocks that don't know what they're doing on the day.
Hey, good look for GM. That we talked about how that was sort of a nothing burger this morning. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second, because I like that chart. If it was potentially breaking, I think it was $79. If it's up 5%, it's 100% broken that for sure. DRAM is up 10%, so that's been very good today. But it's made some fresh tops, putting in lower highs, and then took out, if you come to see where it broke out here right at 12 o'clock, so there's your breakout at 12, right off of the same level. It just kind of flat bottom broke. You can look for the VWAP retrace. It is 330, so usually we'll look at the early looks, but I did already show you guys that CRM is 2 million, still 2 million shares. NSA still 3.6 million to the sell side. That's supposed to be a sell. Verizon, who cares, 1.45. EWY, that ETF is going to be 900,000 to the buy side. UNH might be of interest for 700,000 shares on the sell. So I would strongly suspect that, like yesterday, if there's nothing burgers on the early looks, which unless you're into that NSA or like CRM, probably NVIDIA as usual. NVIDIA and Intel have been the big ones on the imbalance locator on a daily basis, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you bet on.
Actually,
they're likely to have.
NVIDIA's actually been, yeah.
It's had NVIDIA and
I think
Intel.
Apple maybe
1 or 2 million every single day, 3 or 4 times a week. I think you're going to get those two with an imbalance on them. But I'm only giving this to 58.8 on the top. The other thing is, there's at least one last shot before we get to 350 that there could be another VWAP trade on BMNR. So if that doesn't happen in the next 10 minutes and I don't trade it, but if it does, I'd look for one last shot to trade this short off of the volume weighted average price. We're going back up to the desk. You can already see, I can't spoil it because he's right beside me, Adara in 1.
We're going to be talking about the Asian market. It occurred last night. We had a whole bunch of different indices in Asia doing quite well. But what should we expect from tonight's session? Here to get into that with us is one.
Thank you, Adara. So, Asian markets strongly rebounding overnight. Lots of recovery in semiconductors and AI stocks, offsetting that of Middle Eastern tensions. We take a look at the indexes. Taiwan up 4.2%, their largest single-day gain in history. Driven, of course, by TSMC, up by nearly 4%. Also, MediaTek hitting its 10% maximum daily limit. Really great stuff coming from Taiwan. Also in South Korea, the Kospi up by more than 3.5%. A lot of short covering across SK Hynix that was up nearly 5%. Also, Samsung Electronics up by nearly 7%, provided so much needed structural support for the region. Even in Japan, they were on holiday yesterday for Marine Day, but they came back and really did amazingly well, up by 3.2%, led by a massive 17.1% surge in Kioxia Holdings. Other names included Advantes that were up by 7.7%, even Tokyo Electron up by 2.3%. So really good day in Asia. Hopefully even better at the open. What should we focus on at the open for the Asian markets? Of course, there's going to be some silicon short squeeze sustainability. You know, you got to monitor your Taiwan as well as South Korean morning volume, especially after all those record jumps today overnight. Check if any macro portfolios add more capital into the funds, or maybe market might take some quick profits. In China, watch for some liquidity operations from the People's Bank of China. You know, they promised some reserve requirement ratio or RRR cuts. If that happens, that'll be great. But, you know, if that doesn't happen, the chip sector might face some mild pre-market cooling period in Shanghai. In India, the 24-100 zone is your defensive line at the open. They're facing a lot of pressure right now from heavy foreign fund liquidations and outflows, especially the banking sector. We saw yesterday HDFC Bank, they're pretty much down by 6.2% for the week. Not really good in the banking sector in India, but hopefully they can recover from that. And of course, we all know oil, definitely if Brent crude surpasses that of $91 per barrel, that might trigger some selling in Asian markets, especially in airlines, transport hubs, and tire manufacturers. So watch out for that in the open for the Asian markets.
Yeah, lots of sectors and lots of markets to keep an eye on. You can also keep an eye on this space. Juan and I will go over the European markets, 11:30 a.m., and then the Asian markets every day at 3:30 p.m. Back to you.
Thank you, Juan. And,
Always good info from Juan.
Adair, yeah, always interesting there. And of course, Korea is also looking to ban all those double, triple levered ETFs and things like that to help.
Which is not the worst.
Sort of calm.
I think
I don't know. It's fine. I mean, whatever. We saw what happened with that Lucid LCDL or whatever that went bankrupt, and then, all of a sudden Lucid popped up higher and kind of screwed everybody there. It's amazing that this is the only losing trade today of any significance here is Intel going long. They're basically like, how could I be losing money when I was long at 101.70 right there? It's at 105.50, taking out days high. First of all, go NVIDIA continuously going higher. But man, having a decent day, but would have been having a much better one if we didn't get stopped out there. But you know, that's going to happen, and I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It was the number one idea today on the note, and we'll just keep on doing what we're doing. Join every single day, and we'll be talking more about the sticky note. But there it was there, Intel. We wrote down 99 long. It didn't get to that, so. But anyways, that was a little bit of an issue there for Intel in the day today. IBIT long, we could talk about that. Kids, they're breaking $1. It didn't happen. And then NVIDIA there with the long, and we have that one at least. So we didn't put SpaceX on the note today, but wow, there goes Intel taking out those highs. Again, like another part of selling AMD is to buy. I really like Intel, I think. You know, they had AMD's still at all-time highs right now, and Intel still has 40% to go. Until they get back to their all-time highs. So I kind of like the idea of Intel versus AMD, but who knows where these names are going to be going. But for right now, that's what we're dealing with right now. Intel on the move back higher, taking out, what a 10 minutes there for Intel, just going nuts. And you can see it's a little bit opposite there of NVIDIA. So I don't know
I'm wondering if it's a sell imbalance.
Specifically news about that, but
or
here we
flip.
Go. MDMA or MDA? Oh, MDA.
Do we have some love for MDA from Daniel James UK? There we go.
What's up, Daniel?
MDMA? Well, maybe it could be that, but no, it'll be MDA space. So, well,
Cotton.
Well, I mean, this is sort of the problem. Like, we've seen what's happening with the space stocks. Like, they're basically all of them back on the launch pad. But you're getting issues. Like there's no all systems go. What do they say? The countdown hasn't started yet, or if it has, then they fizzled out and they've delayed and they pushed it back because of cloudy weather or whatever. Maybe the wind's too strong, or I don't know. This trend is unbroken since the run up into SpaceX, and unfortunately, like maybe this is the day that it's happening. But the last time it caught a bid, the next day you fell off. Look for a couple of days. It's not enough to make a bottom. Oftentimes you got to say you make the bottom and then break out a resistance level. You know, like pull up. The SpaceX chart is a good example of this. Like you make a bit of a bottom, show that you can actually. So this is holding the low. This would be breaking out a prior high. You think SpaceX has done that? You think Astis has done that? You think Rocket Lab is the one I was searching for, has done that? UFO, the ETF, have they done that yet? So I think if you like one of these as a long-term play, UFO with a little bit of a jout, and it can't seem to break out a prior resistance level. If you like them fundamentally, fair enough. You know, you do your own diligence, pick the one you like, grip it and rip it, and hold on for dear life. But they are still all of them in downtrends until proven otherwise. So I don't think it really makes a difference which one I could pull up for you. They're all basically the same. Easy peasy with the super chat. Reversion on SNDK. There's the 0.2%. Sorry, $5 super chat for the 0.2%. Some reversion SNDK, but had to work. Up 9 hundo.
Some days you got.
When you start donating you 0.2% to Trader TV or enrolled in university, gratitude gift from Print Money Cash, SNDK. I would imagine if you were shorting that thing today,
would have been in trouble.
Yeah. If you pegged the early one and got it into VWAP and maybe
What time
through,
was that? About 10 o'clock?
like this was just before 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Like that was it. That was the good short. And then maybe if you had the absolute top, you probably just trail out of it now. But I'm going to make the guess that that's the short that paid today on SNDK.
Do we? Yeah,
go ahead.
Thanks, Easy Peasy. No, I was just going to say maybe there was something about the timing there. Oh, yeah, I wanted to show
Don't
this.
show us that.
No, I have practice tonight. So I was just looking at it. So this is Toronto right here with the blue. Dot, we push play, and these are thunderstorms. So that's 5 o'clock. My practice is not till 8 p.m., but it doesn't matter. There it is, 8 to 10. Like what? I mean, when do I even go to bed? But anyways, there it goes. Yeah, it's not getting any better. Shout out to Hamilton. Shout out to Buffalo. Right there. I actually saw a funny meme that you won't like, but I thought it was really funny. And it was after the success of the bronze medal game, the NFL is considering having second place and third place games. And the first team to put their hands up were the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
There. So
Backup quarterback's got to play too.
Anyways, yeah. But anyway, I just watching the World Cup makes me just more excited for the NFL to come through. Always a great season in the NFL, I feel like. So that should be another good one here this year.
The third place game was an absolute joke. Like what?
I said that. I couldn't believe they actually even did it, let alone counting those goals towards the.
At least,
because no one plays their system.
At least they had the class not to chase the golden boot with Jude Bellingham. Because I think that would have, and I'm pretty sure that was probably intentional, knowing the kind of game it was going to be. But if they just go out there, they scored like 6 goals.
Well,
if they started Jude, he might have had a hat trick instead of Saka, and then maybe he gets the 4th, and then all of a sudden he's got 10, and then if he wins, you win the golden boot like that.
Yeah, that's not
zero respect whatsoever. Just very quickly, because
go.
Because BM&R, this looked like the exact same setup. Goes into zoom in, not out, Neil. Thank you. Goes into VWAP. Topping tail, jump short, looks like it's about to go, and then breaks the volume weighted average price. So there's something up with this because I'm going to show you guys IBIT in a quick little sec. Yeah, here we go. There's IBIT not running. I guess who cares about IBIT? ETH you'd care more about for BM&R. See how it's not moving? So that's enough for me to just quickly jump out of that reload. ETH is going nowhere. BM&R is going to go on its own. And you have to respect the fact that the treasury name, that's what I'm looking for. The treasury names will fly. Because they'll have a little bit more short covering, and they'll just get their own reasons why they want to go into the upside. So for that one, with only 7 minutes to go, I doubt there's any kind of a re-entry there. Oh, where's NSA?
Oh, CRM?
Dang it. No, this is the one that was supposed to be interesting today. This is a delete NSA, but it's now down to 1.5 million. This was 3.6, now 1.5. CRM still, that's coming down on the buy imbalance. Early look buy imbalance of 2 million and headed to the downside. Okay. I'm your Huckleberry. If that one drops into the imbalances and actually still comes out a buy, then the reversion would be to buy it instead of to short it at 355. I'll put that one up.
I was going to say, no I don't know if about the story, but yeah, credit to England for not doing that. But often it's the club teams that will step in and not let them play useless games, right? So whoever Jude Bellingham
No, that's
team
probably,
is,
you're right.
they just don't want him to get hurt. Like apparently that's what the thing was with Alphonso Davies, is Bayern Munich there was like, you're not letting like one of the best players in the world play against Morocco when you guys are going to get pumped. And so apparently that's what the story was with Alphonso Davies. So I would say for Jude and even for anybody.
And maybe I shouldn't give credit to England for that. Maybe it wasn't a class thing.
No,
you're probably right. It probably wasn't.
Well, it's just like, why would the Bills ever say, Josh Allen, like, why don't you just go out and get like sacked about 1 million times?
But Mbappe was playing the whole game.
That's what I mean. So I don't know. I don't know. But I was just saying that would, to me, that's a smarter play. Don't let like these world-class guys get hurt for no reason. I mean, I don't know. The money is just so much. And
if they had a consolation games, the reason they can't have consolation games in the NFL is because there's no reasonable speed at which you can play without legitimately risking energy.
Soccer's the only one.
No, but like
the NCAA, do they say, you lost in the semifinals, therefore you're going to play to see who wins third place? Not. In NCAA or in baseball, they don't go, too bad, Jays, you lost to the Dodgers here. Just go play the Indians now.
I'm trying to think of even in high, like, was there ever in high school, did we have consolation? And like you went to like a basketball tournament, was there a consolation game? I don't think so.
So sometimes in hockey, there would be. Like for Olympics, there's
bronze, there's a consolation game?
Bronze medal games.
My daughter's 9U in-season tournament in the middle, so there's a third place game for 9-year-olds. So because then they'll, on the Sunday.
No, but the Olympics, like if you're going to award a bronze medal, how else are you going to do that when it's a team game? Whoever loses the semifinals, that happens all the time.
Don't just give them both a bronze.
Anyways, I was just going to say, not worth risking.
It's a silly concept in my opinion, and I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's not. It's a different mentality.
We do have those imbalances.
Just also because the imbalances are coming out in 4 minutes. All right, I didn't put CRM up here. Go CRM and then throw that one up on the side. Yeah, DRAM, we had it long early to the pre-market highs at the time, and of course it could have gone longer, but break down here, break the prior bar, going to jump out. I don't think I do anything until the close. Not doing anything until the closing imbalances because the NASDAQ's starting to come back. And again, CRM I'm going to be watching. NSA, maybe. This is a big maybe. I can tell you in our notes, which I have this is supposed to be about 6 million shares to sell, NSA. Right now, paired off 2.6 with 1.5, so this has a chance to come out a lot larger than it is. So if you see NSA pop in, it's because it came out a big sell, or maybe I got a chance to short it off the volume-weighted average price. That's the big one that we're going to watch. Before we get to the imbalances in 3 minutes, let's go to Sia for a little bit of Money Talks.
Let's take a look at what the money markets are doing right now. You have the USD INR pair. So the Indian rupee had firmed a little bit today. I'm seeing it settled at 96.2 at the moment. Hopes of diplomacy between the United States and Iran had pulled the brakes off an oil rally that had driven the INR to a 2-month low, but it has firmed a little bit, I would say, today. Traders are also paying certain close attention to the scale of inflows that India's capital flow measures would attract over a period to bolster India's FX that's used to defend the rupee. We're also going to take a look at the dollar, what it is doing right now. It's trading around the 101.1 region. I would say it's climbed from earlier in the day where it was around the 100.1 region where it opened, poised for a fourth straight session of gains. Latest round of attacks in the Middle East have pushed oil prices higher as well, so that you have the dollar that's up 0.19, very close to 0.20% on the day.
All right, thanks, Sia. I wanted to say something about our team here. Like I was going to say to Sia before she leaves, like your delivery and everything has gotten way better. So congratulations. On your delivery of all the news has gotten so much better, and I just really appreciate listening to you. And then I also want to say my guy over there won over there. What an improvement. I mean, for those Asian markets, I want to thank him for all his hard work that he's been putting in as well to get us all that. Because
to speak to Sia's professionalism,
it's added so much to the show. So.
There was a day none of you guys noticed.
And she has great hair. If I could borrow some.
She was doing one of her segments, and we were having to Like basically Fabian was having to put me on camera doing the turnaround, and I was having to pretend that I was like talking and doing my thing as he framed me on camera, and I was staring right at Sia while she was live on air, and she didn't get distracted one bit. I'm like, how is she not cracking up? Because I'm doing all this, like right in her line of sight, and you guys wouldn't have even been able to tell. Because for me, there's no chance. Like I can't even ignore the fact that Fabian's on I see him on my program monitor, and I can't ignore the fact that he's up there and hopefully fixing that camera that we're all in love with so far. I can't do that. But professionalism.
No, but I was
abound.
pinching myself. That's how I didn't smile or laugh. Because that's my trick. If someone makes me laugh on air, I just pinch myself, so there's no reason to smile.
I'm going to pinch myself, and then maybe I won't have
Interesting technique.
any SpaceX shares long in my personal account.
Interesting.
Hold on.
Yeah. Well, you could use that Wishing Willow
No, they're still there.
Obsession. You
I
could
still
watch. Yeah, I watched Obsession last night. Yeah.
You know what? Forget that. I'm just going to order it and watch it on
Look,
like,
I
Friday
don't,
night or something.
I don't ever have. I mean, we all don't have a problem. Like that just came naturally. Like thanking Sia and one. Like it's not. We don't have scripts here or anything like that. And if we did, probably the show would be 10 times.
You didn't
better,
get the email?
We don't. Oh yeah. Oh, there's the email. Yeah. Please mention that Sia is doing a good job. Yeah, no. But anyways, thank you to Sia for that one. Only 30 seconds left now until the N1, of course, until the imbalances. So here we go, man. They're all going to hit very, very soon. We're pretty light on everything. I did put an out at 124 just in case SpaceX does pop through. We'll hold a little small bit, but big out at 124 if that does happen. We are now down. I mean, we got a 122 fill. We took another piece out. So we have 5% left here. Told you 2.5% every time. So here we go. It is now out, and it must be a sell. It's going lower, breaking through 123 right now. SoFi somehow coming up with, hey man, we just talked about SoFi. SoFi coming up with a bid. We like that one. Intel with a sell, yuck, but it's going higher and saying forget that. NVIDIA with a sell doing NVIDIA type things, not doing much there. Microsoft with a sell, and that's taking it personally as that's getting to the downside right now, 397. And there it is, Brian Shannon in Netflix. We talked about Netflix there. He gave a $50 look at that, maybe 60 for a downside play there on Netflix. Other than that, man, SMCI might be somewhat of interest there. And I don't know, we looked at, we've talked about CLBK there. This is probably a buyout. Like there's huge size right there at 1095. So this name probably not going anywhere, may get delisted. CLBK, SoFi buy, NSA. Didn't someone message us about NSA?
NSA is the one that's supposed to be a sell.
It is a sell.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2
CLBK
million.
that's not a deal.
It's now 9 million shares.
What the heck is that?
With a huge offer right there. So I don't know if this is doing anything right there, but someone's going to have to push the buy button to break that.
It looks like
and it looks like this has to be a buyout.
No,
the
it's
deal
not.
must be done at $11 or something. But anyways, whatever. What is CLBK? CLBK. It is Columbia Financial. I don't know. But anyways, this is what it looks like.
Oh no! There was
split.
No, this was on.
Yeah. Anyways, okay.
There was something. Yeah.
We'll figure that out. But anyways, that's what CLBK looks like. And Road, I don't know, taking the high road at $105. I don't even know what this is either. But this is what's going on your balances today, and there it is right there. 1.1 to the B on a sell side. 1.1 billion sell, sorry, not buy. I'm going to get some more out here on SpaceX. Just, there it is. I'm on the stock. So just a little bit of a punch out. It's not doing too much. We'll get lighter and lighter on this name. And we'll just get ready to wrap this thing up there. NVIDIA doing what it's doing. I was going to break out of this trade if it took out 206.40. But right now, we'll just let it go for a minute. See what winds up happening there with NVIDIA. Columbia Financial announces completion of second step. This is from Stocks Unhinged.
Yeah,
so
it was
thank
like
you
some
so much.
complex, weird merger.
Yeah, I'll put it up there. Here it is. Let's send this through. Instead of going to Adara for it, we could just get this. Announced completion of secondary step conversion, 1.7 billion stock offering. So maybe someone's buying up that offering right now, but who knows? Anyway, CLBK there. Thank you for that information as it's on the imbalance locator stock. Sunshine, I think that was something like that. Okay, over to Adara, I just heard.
Be aware, guys, Microsoft, a little bit of a spike here. This probably was imbalances, but there also were a couple headlines here for OpenAI that I think are worth mentioning regardless. For one, the Wall Street Journal reporting that OpenAI is adding 2 independent board members ahead of its IPO, We know that initially their filing was indicated they could go public as early as September, but the company even admitted on social media that they might not ever go public. And a lot of people are expecting it won't happen until next year. Regardless, these 2 new independent board members have been added according again to this report. Specifically, they are the new bank founder and CEO, David Velez, and the CEO of Bank of New York Mellon. So, bank CEOs. The second report here, though, from Axios, saying that OpenAI has admitted that a Hugging Face breach here was caused by one of its own models. So if you get more details, we'll keep you posted here. But back to the guys in the meantime.
Thanks, Adair. It's about 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds, and you've already got SoFi pairing off. So I no longer even see it. Maybe it's a fugazi, but I don't know, we'll just go for a quick little reversion on SoFi. I didn't add it to my watch list to be able to see its imbalance alone, but you can already see. Like SoFi was in there out of nowhere because it's a NASDAQ stock, right? Like all the stocks that we see and give you the early look on, they're all New York. So it's nothing special about SoFi that made it sort of that out of nowhere. Everything on the NASDAQ's that way. If it breaks 60s, I'll get out. At 57s, the high is 59, so 1 penny above the high. But with 355 looming, it could break it before 55 hits. And that NSA is now up to 5 million shares, but I'm going to give it till after 355. It's still underneath the expected size of the imbalance. 5 million shares expected with that NSA. So because it's not big enough, I wouldn't want to blindly take it before 355. But I'm going to go for the reversion. It's been a while since I tried one of these. On SoFi, just needs to hold till 355. It did pair off most of the imbalance in the first place. That's why we look at these imbalance trades.
Join us tomorrow and every day at, of course, 8 a.m. And we want to thank everybody that's still here with us right now. Blicky Spears, I mean, many of you have been here all day, so we want to say thank you so much. Stocks Unhinged over here, Commodity King as well. He's saying Oracle, go take a look at that. Take a look at IoT Commodity King, that's for sure. What's up to Robe Girl as well? Snowman is here, but Kevin Mendoza, so many of our viewers keep coming back every single day. So thank you for doing that. Northwest Sasquatch. Oh, that's where the Sasquatch is. It's in the Northwest. I was trying to find one of those things, get rich off that. What's up, B-Town again? Yeah, what's up to Brampton? That's Neil and I are both from there, if that's what you mean. And then what's up to Girl Trader? Hey, what's up, Girl Trader? Another nice Girl Trader there. So shout out to that. Neil is the GOAT. We say thank you to Durante there as well. Girl Traders there again. Deep Tranquility, yo man. Muscan is there, 5299. Don Bakar, remember you from the morning as well. But thank you to everybody for all of your contributions today, including you, T-Money. Just saw you there in the chat as well. All right, just quickly, we covered more of SpaceX right there before it pops up. We're going to get out if it breaks through 124. We just got a good fill down there, like 123.20s there. Breaking it out through 124. We're out of that one. Can't get enough. It's back to Sia right here with just a quick little crypto update before 4 p.m.
That is right. You are very right about the quick little crypto update. It will be quick. I'll rush through this right now. You have Coinbase Global, Robinhood, all the stocks that were tied to cryptocurrency were up, jumping earlier in the day as Bitcoin has touched its highest level since it's been on since the June 16th. Currently, BTC is trading around 66,413 region right now. Looking good over here. So Coinbase earlier in the day had almost advanced 12%. You had Robinhood that had jumped 9%, and TeraWulf had jumped 8%. Currently, Hood is up 7.18%, Wolf is up 5.7%, and you have Coin up close to 10% on the day with that. BTC is up close to 2%. ETH trading around the $1,900 region, up 1% on the day, and Solana down very, very flat, barely anything, 0.08%, but trading around the $77.7 region.
All right, quick as you
very
like
much.
right there.
See ya, appreciate it.
Yeah, dying into the close is Google. Still can't get over, and we'll see if we can do better tomorrow with some of our stops. But Intel being the losing stock there goes up to 106. And someone said rip Google there, so I don't know. I mean, rest in peace, not the other way around. Yeah, Google, woo. Yeah, ugly close for Google today, down to 347. And some of those lows, man, we're actually right back into like sort of where we were the last couple of days on that Gemini worry. We were kind of cruising there, and then they delayed 3.5. And there was news, regarding Google today about that. But all attention is tomorrow night. I believe we're staying late, I think. Tomorrow night we'll double confirm that. I don't know. When is Google reporting and Intel there? Do you know the times yet? Have you
Google is going to be 4 p.m. tomorrow, Tesla 4:05 tomorrow. At 4:10, you're going to have IBM and ServiceNow, and at 4 p.m. as well, so same time as Google, you're going to be getting Texas Instruments on Thursday. You're going to be getting Intel at 4 p.m. and Deckers at 4:05 p.m.
Okay, that's right. So it's not Intel tomorrow. I was thinking it was Intel tomorrow. I was waiting for Intel there, but it's Thursday. So
that's my bad.
We'll stay late with Joe tomorrow. All of us will.
No, that was my bad. I said Intel. All day long I've been saying Intel.
Joe just told me he definitely wants to stay late tomorrow. So we're staying late tomorrow. Thank you, Joe. Joe, thank you so much for volunteering, man. I mean, everyone in the chat. Put some ones up in the chat if you want Joe to stay late tomorrow right there. Joe's putting a lot of ones in the chat there. Good job, Joe. But yeah, everyone, look at it. Everyone wants it. Sia said 0 for Joe? Ouch, Sia. Okay, yeah, everybody, look, Joe, come on, man. The people are giving look at this, man. People don't forget, Joe. So, people want the Joe. Multiple ones over here. All right. We'll see if we can. The problem is Joe's per rate billable on the hour is huge. So we're going to have to pay him a little bit extra there tomorrow on his billable hour. But only 1 minute left right now. We'll do our best to join. I mean, at least it's 4:15. It won't be too crazy there. Joe can wait to go get those Farm Boy sausages until a little bit later there. I wonder what's for dinner tonight.
Well, I know what's for dinner for us. We got like a fresh bread and
bread?
Yeah.
Sandwiches?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You're leaving us hanging there.
No, I mean that's what we're gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna roll auction with this NSA in here. We scalped it a little bit, but I'm just gonna throw it into the print, which is gonna come in about 15 seconds or so, or less than 10 seconds. And as always, that closing bell is brought to you by ticker VFS. Want to shout out to them and give a big thank you to VinFast for sponsoring said closing bell. And now, the casino is closed, everybody.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna just.
Well, at least that's the theory.
SpaceX.
That's the theory. Where did it close?
Right here, right where it was, 123.50. So we'll close in and around here on SpaceX and just get out of our rest of our shares here in the after hours. And then same thing with NVIDIA, went up to 207.50. I was actually waiting at 208 and didn't get a fill there, but we can easily punch out, and we just got a fill there on SpaceX, and we'll punch out of NVIDIA. There's SpaceX right there. So a little last second fill there at 123, 40 or something. We punched out of that one. We don't want to be in that one anymore. But yeah, good day overall. And thank you to everybody for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow where there's many earnings to come, right? I mean, we're excited to bring that to you.
It's going to be a busy day, man.
There again. So again, thank you to everybody for joining us. Everybody on TikTok.
Be in the right spot.
For sure. Yeah. Google puked all over itself at the end of the day. So I don't really.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the report. I don't mind if Google goes down a little bit more, see if we can get some more shares in the longer term account. But yeah, it should be another good day. What a day for memory names today.
Huge.
SanDisk up 12%.
DRAM double digits. Micron
was 12% as well. Cerebras, talk about the memory names. They're up to 17% today for Cerebras. SoxL up 15. Coinbase up 10. SK Hynix. Neil's got Cerebras. They're up 18. SK Hynix up 14 as well. Oh man, what a nice day to be long the memory names.
I didn't even see this one. That's absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Apparently there's some small capper here that might be doing a... Nah, it's not good. So anyways, the CLDX seems like they might have missed on a study. And that is what happens, we were just talking about Vikings, this is what happens when you get a smaller biopharma name that has a phase 1, 2, or 3 failure. You get things like this. So sucks to be you, but memory chips are absolutely fine and blowouts for them as well. But you know what? Tomorrow's a big day. We might have talked about who's reporting after the bell, but do not forget, before the bell tomorrow morning, and we'll cover live, GE Vernova. If you don't think that they matter big time when it comes to the AI play, because data centers need power, and they are all about powering data centers. IBM as well. Yeah, but IBM's.
That was the one. I was confusing IBM with Intel. Okay, good show. Thank you, everybody. Good to see you, Adara.
I got it back.
There's a drop. Thank you to Joe. Thanks for volunteering for tomorrow night. It's going to be awesome. And shout out to Andre, Tiffany over there as well. We've already said thank you to him. Thank you to Fabian for putting up that camera right in the middle of the screen there, and we'll see if we can move that maybe. But it's a good one there as we get more and more cameras going on here as well. Big shout out to, I think, Darren Sear already said it. Ramin, that's over there. Big shout out to Sharif. And more importantly, to everybody out there who's watching. We wouldn't have a show without you guys. So, all right, stay dry if you're in the GTA. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Go Blue Jays? I don't know.
Nah.